Wait, guys. I know. So this one.
He asked the question.
What's the question?
He asked the question.
Yeah.
Does the father need to be a... Wait,
How you sound, right? Hey, family. Yeah, we're gonna put this. We're gonna make this. Jason, brother, God bless you, man. You right?
I cannot be a son without my dad. The reason why I am a son because I have a dad and I have a mother. Likewise, Jesus Christ is the son. If he is the son, he has to be begotten by somebody. Hence, we say the first person of the Trinity is the Father, because in the Bible it says the Father, the first person of the Trinity, begets the Son, Jesus Christ.
Is that a requirement for them being
Hypostatically,
God?
yes.
Hypostatically, is that a requirement for them being God?
Okay, so he said, is there a requirement for them to be God? Yeah. So what he's not, that's a category mistake.
Is
so
it yes or no?
He's making a mistake on hypostatic properties, intrinsic properties, and extrinsic properties. So for the father to the father is a father based on his hypostatic property. Okay, because he begets the son, that's a hypostatic property. Because the son is begotten eternally by the father, because he's filiated by the father, that's an intrinsic property of the son. So, but to be God,
he's not hypostatic,
that's a hypostatic property. To be God, you must have. Yeah, intrinsic property. So yeah, intrinsically and hypostatically, they're the same thing. Same thing. Extrinsically, I'm not finished saying. I'm not finished. Extrinsically, to be God, you must have the extrinsic properties, such as be all-knowing, all-powerful, all these attributes. What that makes you God. That's what you must have to make you God. But hypostatically and intrinsically, that's not a requirement to be. That's not a requirement to be God. That's the relational properties within the triune God. What's the question?
What's the question?
The question is, I asked you to show me an emphatic statement from your gospel to show that Jesus is 100% God and 100% man. You show me a verse, I would disagree. That's emphatic. If you are saying that is an emphatic statement, why did they need to have a Council of Chalcedon in 451 AD to say that Jesus is 100% God and 100% man? But that only came about 400 years after Jesus. You cannot be found in the Gospels. Therefore, you cannot prove that Jesus is 100% God and 100% man, which goes to show that when Jesus died, you no longer had a Trinity. If you no longer had a Trinity, you no longer had a God. In Christianity, God ceased to exist.
Beautiful. Now, in the Council of Chalcedon, this happened in 451 AD, which was trying to approve the Council of Ephesus around 381 AD. Now, the Council of Ephesus and the Council of Chalcedon, they still agree that Christ is fully God and fully man. They all believe that Christ is truly God and truly man. But what some people didn't believe that Christ had two natures. Some people believe that Christ had these natures of being God and being man, but they were joined together. So they still believe that Christ is truly God and truly man, but they believe that Christ's nature is joined together. Either way, the Bible in Colossians chapter 2 verse 9 and in Philippians chapter 2 that Christ was fully God and fully man. Show me an emphatic statement of the Quran where it says Muhammad was not a sinner.
Okay. No, but
I'm doing the same standards against you. Show me
same criteria.
Show me the same argument in the Quran.
Do you agree that when Jesus died, God ceased to exist?
No, because Christ says that destroy this temple in 3 days I will raise up. So if Christ was not God, how can he raise himself up? If Christ had to be God, hence he raised himself up, showing that he was omnipresent with the Father and the Holy Spirit. And now answer my question. Show me in the Quran. Where it says Muhammad is not a sinner.
It's not a sinner.
Show
Okay.
me in the Quran where it says Muhammad is not a sinner.
Okay. Why? Okay. Explain why. Same criteria.
Show me an emphatic statement where it says Muhammad is not a sinner.
Yes, please, with you, Boxila. How are you, okay? Okay, let me sort out the camera.
Because the Bible clearly says in Quran that is fully good, fully man.
I never claimed that he's a sinner. I'm not a sinner. So you're not following
Muhammad's a sinner.
I didn't say he was. I didn't say he wasn't. Allah knows. Allah is the judge. Allah is the know what a person sees. You're not the know what a person sees. I'm not the know what a person sees. I'm not the one to judge who's a sinner and who's not a sinner. It's not for me to judge. You don't be a sinner. For me, it's not relevant. I don't judge people.
Who am I talking to?
Doesn't matter. I asked you, you didn't.
I did.
I asked you if he's not the son, would he still be God?
Okay, cool, yeah. He'll still be God because he'll have the extrinsic properties.
Without being the son.
Listen. He'll still be God because he'll have the extrinsic properties. Him being the Son is a hypostatic property. It's a filiation. It's an intrinsic property. It's not what makes you God. What makes you God is the intrinsic properties.
So if he wasn't the Son, yeah, he wouldn't be God. He would still be God.
He would still have the divine nature.
So the Trinity is not Father Son.
The Trinity, okay.
You just said to me he would still be God if he wasn't the Son, so it's not Father Son.
The Trinity is a relation. It's a relation between Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I've told you before.
You said that's God.
The Father, he doesn't like my answer. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
I understand
Right?
your answer.
God, the first person of the Trinity being the Father, the second person of the Trinity being the Son. These are hypostatic properties. These are relational properties. These are intrinsic properties. This is properties. It's not what makes you God. It's what makes what you are. Let me answer. Or I'll tell you.
If he's not the Son, is he
it's
still
what
part
they-
of this Trinity?
So again, I'm asking a question. The Trinity is a relational between the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. What makes God the Trinity is the relation between the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Now, if he wasn't the Son,
the
would
Father
he be
cannot
God?
be the Father without his hypostatic properties, but he can still be God because of his extrinsic properties. The
talking
Son
about the Son.
cannot be the Son. Listen, I'm going to debunk his point now. He's not liking my answer. The Son cannot be the Son without his hypostatic properties, which is filiation and being begotten by the Father. However, he can still be God because he contains extrinsic properties such as all-knowing, all-powerful. All these qualities what makes you extrinsically God. Hypostatic properties and extrinsic properties are complete different categories. He has been debunked. He's not like Muhammad. Now ask him a question.
I'm trying to figure out what your answer is.
Do you believe Muhammad to be saying, you don't like him answer, that's it. I've asked you like 4 times. I've asked you like 4 times.
If he's the Son,
you're not liking
hold on. You're saying if he's the
He's
Son.
not liking the answer. I've asked him like 4 times. There's a different. Okay, define to me what hypostatic.
That's not the point. The
No,
point is I'm
define
asking
to
you.
me. Like,
I'm asking you to be clear.
define to me.
I don't care about your hypostatic. I'm asking you.
You have to
If
be
he's the Son.
Oh my God.
If you don't accept it, if you don't accept it, nah, man, come on, bro.
If you're talking about Son, that's what I've answered this question.
No, you didn't.
So, what does hypostasis
No,
mean?
you've gone on about hypostatic, but I'm asking you.
Because you're conflating hypostasis and extrinsic properties. You're conflating them.
How am I conflating?
Because hypostatic properties, intrinsic properties, and extrinsic properties is completely different. Extrinsically, God is who He is, the substance, okay? The all-knowing, the powerful, all these omnipresent, all these good qualities.
That's God.
Extrinsically.
Okay, is that God?
When we're talking about extrinsic property, we're talking about the
Is
person.
that God?
we're
Yes
talking
or
about
no?
hypostasis.
Is that
Yes.
God? Okay. Now,
wait,
if he's
wait,
not the Son,
wait,
be with you, bro.
wait. When we're talking about hypostasis,
Wallahi, I swear to God,
okay,
yeah?
my last
Bro.
point, I'm done then.
But you didn't answer the question.
When we're talking about hypostatic properties,
5 times you answered
we're
you, bro.
talking
5
about a
times, man.
relation
Answered me.
and intrinsic property. Intrinsically, the Father is the Father because he begets the Son. Intrinsically, the Son is the Son because he is begotten by the Father. Intrinsically,
yeah.
the Holy Spirit is the Spirit because he proceeds from the Father through the Son. Okay?
Does the
The
Holy
first
Spirit have
person
these
of the first person of the Trinity is God because he has intrinsic properties. The second person of the Trinity is God because he has the extrinsic properties. The third person of the Trinity is God because he contains
And the second person? The second person?
You're not liking the answer.
just said the first person is God.
Wait.
Who's the second person?
Yeah, wrap up.
Who's the second person?
Wrap up.
Jesus is the second person.
Yes.
Who's the third person? Where does the
who-
Father fit in all of this?
Who's the third person? The Holy Spirit or?
Where does the Father fit?
Let me draw this out, okay? So this person, he's conflated hypostatic properties and extrinsic properties. To be God, you must have the extrinsic properties, such as all-knowing, being omnipresent, and all-powerful. That's what makes you God. That's what makes you capable of having divine nature. Intrinsically, you must be God to that. You must have these qualities to be God. Hypostatically, intrinsically, you must have hypostatic properties to be the Father. The Father is intrinsically the Father because he begets the Son. Jesus is intrinsically the Son because he is begotten by the Father. The Holy Spirit is intrinsically the Spirit because he proceeds from the Spirit. He does not understand extrinsic properties and intrinsic properties. A debunker's claim does not like my answer.
Unfortunately,
Yeah? Alright, cool. Family, I don't know what's going on. Is the mic... Is the sound okay? What's going on? Hello, hello. Is the mic okay? Is the mic not working? What's going on? Someone answer. What's going on? Hello. Test. Ish, what's your mic? Yeah.
with the European Union, but the elites can't listen and the elites won't listen. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it remains that this process of destroying the two major parties must go on faster and deeper. The surge in the Liberal Democrat vote, the Muslim independent vote, and the Green vote show to us that the two-party system in the United Kingdom is dead. And let it rest in peace, because it no longer serves the nation. The two-party, uni-party system of this country only serves those at the top. It does not serve those at the bottom. And what we see, ladies and gentlemen, is that the fractures and the echoes of the Brexit vote split the country. Those areas that voted to remain inside the EU tended to go Green or Plaid Cymru or Scottish National Party or Liberal Democrat. Those groups, ladies and gentlemen, those areas of the country that voted Brexit are the ones that voted Reform. And so we can see that the division in our country is down along between those who are unionist and those who are internationalist in their politics, ladies and gentlemen. And thus this represents to us a danger to the United Kingdom. It is not for nothing that Plaid Cymru and the Scottish National Party both won in their regional assemblies. This is an existential threat to the United Kingdom, and the unionist parties need to start finding policies that will strengthen the United Kingdom and strengthen the union of the four nations that make us up. It cannot be ignored that since devolution, the nations are drifting apart. It is also worth observing that the progressive vote, when you add it all up, is bigger than the Reform vote. And that is why it is absolutely important that Reform and Restore unite and work together. It is absolutely important that the Conservatives recognise that they are drifting into the shadows and that they serve to help this peaceful revolution. And I say to every Conservative party, put the country before the party. The survival of the United Kingdom is more important than the survival of the Conservative Party.
Right.
So step aside peacefully. Don't divide the right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Step aside.
We cannot afford division on the right, but it is of strategic importance that we stir up division on the left, that we make the left fight against itself by exposing their differences and by causing Labour to entrench itself against the left by tagging Labour and steering Labour to the right so that the left splits its vote, ladies and gentlemen. What has been demonstrated by this election cycle, ladies and gentlemen, is that the working classes of England and Wales and Scotland have flexed their muscles. They flexed their muscles and look at what it achieved. For too long, working class communities either lazily gave their votes to Labour or they didn't vote. But in this election cycle, they came out in droves.
They did!
And see what it achieves, my working class brothers and sisters. Look what you do when you come out and vote. And I want to say to you that you need to keep up the pressure. You need to come up and come out and vote in every election, and especially the
next general election.
Because we have, to my estimation, 2 elections to save our country from being utterly destroyed by internationalist progressive politics. The working classes are by far the largest singular voting bloc in this country. They dwarf, ladies and gentlemen, the Islamic vote, as you saw in Birmingham
and Bradford,
where Reform, and Bradford, where Reform came out strongly despite the Muslim bloc. It is us, the working classes, that set the direction of the nation, but the elites want you to fall asleep. The elites don't want you to be politically organised. The elites want you to buy into their bread and circuses distraction from your own destiny as a people. We do not need anyone as the working classes. Labour needs us. The trade unions need us. Reform needs us. Restore needs us. The elite needs us. The working classes do not need anyone.
Nothing.
They only need to organise themselves in this country into being a political patriotic movement, and they will set the course of this country for generations to come. And so I say to all the working classes of England,
say it.
You must force a unity onto Reform and the political parties of the right. You must organise, you must train, you must mobilise, and you must resist the erosion of our culture and identity as the people that built these nations and these islands. And you must unite on a narrative that is bigger than partisan politics. You must unite upon a Christian nationalist movement, upon a Christian identity, on a Christian culture, and you must force the parties that claim to represent you to actually embody those things that you value, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to stab and destroy the Labour Party, tear up your trade union cards. End your payments to the trade unions. End your membership to the trade unions. And set up instead Christian trade unions rather than socialist trade unions, ladies and gentlemen. and defund the Labour Party. At this moment in time, the entire political establishment is scratching their heads and wondering how they can respond to Reform's victory, to Reform's surge. And that means that they are going to be listening to the working classes. And so it is important that the working patriotic classes of England, Wales and Scotland articulate a political agenda and political policies that represent their concerns. And here are some of their concerns, 10 points that we can rally around and rally behind as a political bloc. Number one, more resources and commitment to arrest and prosecute judges, police officers, social workers, youth workers, parents, and the Muslim rape gangs that were responsible for the industrial rape of white working class girls up and down this country. We want to see it as a moral crusade run by the state to hold everyone account for what happened to those girls mercilessly and zealously until all guilty parties find themselves in prison, and that the victims of those Muslim rape gangs are duly compensated for the failure of everyone to protect them. Number two, a hard, absolute stop to illegal immigration. No more excuses. No more paying France for what it is not doing. Do whatever it takes to end the boats and to end the illegal immigration into the country and to re-establish the borders of England. Number three, the complete removal of all illegal immigrants from this country and the tearing up of all international treaties that prevent us from doing so. This is unfair to us as the taxpayers. It is unfair to legal migrants who do all the paperwork and pay all the bills and jump through all the hoops, to allow illegal migrants to stay in this country when they are clearly not refugees, because they have passed through safe country after safe country after safe country after safe country to get here, ladies and gentlemen. Number four, a revision to legal migration that emphasizes the importance of integration, that doesn't merely judge the legal migrant by what skills they are bringing into this country, based upon what skills are missing in the workforce, but also looks at how well they can integrate by considering things like language and culture and religion, ladies and gentlemen. Number five, homes and jobs for those who are born in this country. There is a housing crisis in this country. There is a lack of work in this country. And whilst there is such a crisis, it is important to preference the people born in this country by strengthening educational courses to build the requisite skills within the British workforce. And it is important that we recognise that we as British people are partly responsible for the need for migration into this country by divorcing and aborting our own children and by having low aspirations in our families for our children in the workforce. Number 6, that we dramatically revise the welfare state to reward the working poor rather than those who sit around on benefits, never contributing to the system. And that this crackdown on welfare abuse be accompanied by a dramatic cut down on public waste of public money on schemes that are of no value or no good to the British people, the British culture, or the British identity. Number 7, that we re-establish a maximal freedom of speech in the United Kingdom that allows us to say things that hurt people, things that insult people, things that the polite society don't want us to say, and that we should be free to discuss all political issues without censorship, ladies and gentlemen, or without weaponizing hate speech laws to silence legitimate speech in this country. And an end, ladies and gentlemen, of the police prosecuting and arresting and harassing people for jokes and tweets, ladies and gentlemen. Number 8, to uphold and to celebrate and to cultivate a British identity rooted in our Christian past that perforates the education system, that perforates civic life, that normalizes Christian standards into law and into public institutions. Number 9, to end the two-tier policing and two-tier court system, to prosecute corrupt judges and corrupt police officers who politicise their office and have thrown into prison people like Lucy Connolly and Tommy Robinson when they broke no law, ladies and gentlemen. And that we police fairly all political movements and we enforce the law equally onto all, rather than saying that this group gets to break the law because of cultural sensitivities. Number 10, that the establishment respects the Brexit vote and does not seek to dilute it by new treaties with the European Union, and that we immediately begin a process of the renationalisation of the state by passing such laws as making it illegal for foreign-born nationals to sit in the parliaments and councils of this country. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I want to say to the Reform leadership,
say it.
Heed my words well.
Listen.
Many of the people that voted for you have only lent you their vote because they are waiting for Restore and they are using you as a blocker to the Greens and the Labour Party.
Okay.
Do not take this vote for granted.
Amen.
If you want to keep this vote, we want to see you act on these issues. You promised us an inquiry about the rape gangs and you did not deliver.
Nothing.
Reform, we don't need you. You need us.
Need us.
And so it is time.
Yeah.
This is your one opportunity.
Número uno.
If you want to keep our vote at the general election, show to the working classes of the United Kingdom that you will fight for what they value, what they believe in. Do not take our vote for granted, because as easily as we swept you into power, we can sweep you right out of power again.
That's right, Tom.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done, Bob Sealer. Well done, Bob Sealer.
Going once.
Going once, so.
So I have one question, please.
One question, go.
Regarding the election which is coming regarding the mayor of London, the woman is sitting for reform is a Muslim woman. So will she bang the Sharia law in the UK if she wins?
Ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe
Yeah.
that the Muslim candidate for reform will be trying to push Sharia law if she is elected. If you look at her, she's clearly not a practicing Muslim. You know, just like there are many Christians in our politics who claim to be Christian and never pursue anything Christian in their political agendas, it is just as possible to have Muslims who will never pursue anything Islamic. And I believe that the Reform Muslim candidate is such a person. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
So who is the right person?
Sorry, let someone else ask the question. Any other questions going once? Going twice? Going 3 times? It's your final call. Thank you very much. Ridvan, do you want to come and do your speech?
Yeah, I need to prepare.
Or is there a question?
No, I've got 1 minute before.
Okay, it's all right. We've got to pass over the microphones. Ridvan's going to do a speech now. Do you want to transfer your microphones onto Ridvan? Got any microphones? Move on to Ridvan.
Where's JC? There's no space. No space. Anywhere except here.
No.
That's quite cool. There's a lot going on here.
Sneak out here. Who's going to do
all the way. To my face. Are you want to?
Yeah, I'll do your camera. I'll do your camera.
Let me hold this right here.
All right.
Put it right on you.
You need to make sure it's playing because I won't have a clue. So long as it's playing, I'll just point it at you.
It is playing right now.
All right, go on then.
All right.
Do you want to walk in?
Yeah. Where am I standing? Here? Wonderful.
If you introduce yourself, no one knows you.
Wait, Ridvan, is this got a point at you, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go.
You can just wander around with it, it's alright.
No, go on.
So, I can't speak as loudly as Bob does. I'll try. Is this good enough? Good enough. All right.
Yeah, it's good. The microphone's going to pick you up.
Wonderful. So, I go by apostate prophet. My real name is Ridvan. Idemir. I usually go by apostate prophet. Sometimes I introduce myself as that as well. But yeah, I want to talk about Islam today. You talked enough about the politics, and I think the politics are making great progress. I think there is great change coming, and the change that is coming is pointing towards light. But we need more of that. We need more light. I want to talk about Islam specifically. I think Islam is the main reason why we need these politics that Bob so wonderfully talked about and so wonderfully amplified. I am a former Muslim. I'm an ex-Muslim. Many of you know that according to Islam, my penalty for leaving Islam is death. So I've received these threats many, many times. I am doing quite well under the circumstances. I've met many other ex-Muslims who are threatened with death, who are chased by their parents, who escape death. By the way, if that happens, you can just leave it.
Yeah,
I think that people need to realize, and I think people realize that here for a very, very long time, that Islam is a darkness. Islam is a darkness that covers every place that it goes to. However, Islam is also a darkness that fears the light. It fears the light of truth. Islam may be a religion that appears very strong on the surface, that appears very strong due to its posturing, due to its tendency to appeal to hate and violence, to suppression. As many of you might remember, just a few years ago, there was this impression here that the Islamic narrative was taking over, and people were increasingly suppressed until the brave Christians came and regathered here and started becoming dominant again, which is wonderful to see. All glory to God. Underneath the shallow surface of Islam that is being presented as something very strong due to this posturing is something that is very hollow. There is really nothing underneath. It stands on very, very weak ground. It stands on sand, or something even less than sand. The posturing and pretentiousness is because it is so weak. It is actually very easy for those who want to shed light and dispel the darkness that Islam is. All you need to do is inform yourselves a little bit about what Islam actually teaches and how it defeats itself by its own teachings. All we need to do is hold a little bit of truth, a little bit of that light of truth to it, and get rid of the darkness. This is why the defenders of Islam are so afraid of any criticism voiced at it, so much that they want to push for any prohibition of any criticism of Islam. We deal with this all the time. People say critical things about Islam or about what Muslims do in the name of Islam, and they have their freedom of speech threatened. They are being refused entry into this country, into a Christian country, because they offend Muslims, because they say things that are contrary to Islam, that are critical of Islam. So we can talk forever about what kind of violent and hateful religion it is, what kind of moral problems it has. We can talk a lot about the pedophilic tendencies of the Prophet and all of these things. We have talked about this forever. I think what is more important is that we talk about its false teachings and the truth about Islam. I want to talk about three things. One very important issue is that in a Christian nation, in a Christian environment or a post-Christian environment, Muslims always make the great effort to argue that Muslims themselves love Jesus, they also believe in Jesus, that Islam respects Jesus, and Islam respects and delivers the truth about Jesus, and people need to be aware of how exactly they can counter this. Islam teaches that Jesus was simply a prophet who was sent by Allah to deliver a message called the Injil, which is a word derived from the Greek, from Evangelium. The Injil, the Gospel. Muslims can never tell you what the Gospel actually is. They will say that the Gospel is a text or a message that was given to Jesus, and that this message or this text is now lost. But when the people in Muhammad's own time referred to the Injil or the Gospel, people at that time were almost exclusively referring to the text or the scripture that Christians had in their own hands, which the Quran also says. It says the Gospel that they have in their own hands. So it is the Gospels, the fourfold Gospel, or the New Testament altogether. They say that he delivered a message, that he was, that they tried to kill him, those who rejected him, but they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him. That is what the Quran says, or that is at least the majority interpretation of what the Quran says. So Muslims deny the most basic, the most well-acknowledged, the most historically attested historical fact about Jesus, that he was indeed killed, he was indeed crucified. They denied everything that happens after that. I talked to Bart Ehrman, one of the most prominent critics of Christianity, who also happens to be a scholar, and he himself admits to me that it is undeniable that Jesus was killed and crucified, and that his immediate followers believed that he was God in some sense. That his immediate followers reported that they saw him after his death and crucifixion. That they attested that he was resurrected. which drove them to believe that he is the Son of God, which drove them to believe that he is God. So Islam does try to appeal to Jesus, but then rejects everything about him. It rejects everything that happened to him. It rejects everything that he taught. It rejects everything that his disciples, those people that he chose, that his disciples and that his apostles said about him. Everything we know about what Jesus taught, we get from the earliest sources about Jesus. We get from the Apostle Paul. We get from the disciples. We get from historical records. We know what he taught. We know what he taught. We know that the things that he taught are found, as even the skeptics and critics admit, in the earliest texts of the Bible itself. We know what he taught because we know what his followers, his immediate followers in the first century believed about him. They believed that he is not merely a prophet. They believed that he is the Son of God. That they believe that he is God. They believe that he was killed, that he was crucified, that he was resurrected.
He was.
If Muslims claim that they believe in Jesus, that they respect Jesus, that they love Jesus, then they should at least trust and believe what those people whom Jesus trusted the most, whom Jesus appointed as his disciples, as his apostles, what they said about him. If they reject all of these things, they cannot claim to love or to respect Jesus.
No way.
Because they thereby disrespect Jesus himself by questioning his own choices of disciples. They thereby want to depict Jesus as a mistaken fool, which he was not. He was full of truth. He was truth. He was truth himself. He spread the truth. He spread the light. And Muslims fail to acknowledge this light. One very, very funny thing to point out, which always puzzles Muslims, is that the Quran itself says and teaches that Jesus was born of a virgin, of the Virgin Mary. Why does the narrative of the Virgin Mary exist? It exists because it is very clear he had an earthly mother and he did not have an earthly father. He was therefore the Son of God. The primary reason why this narrative exists, the primary reason why this narrative is amplified from the very beginning in Christianity is that it points at the very clear fact that he is the only one, aside from the first humans created, who is born without an earthly father and who is thereby the Son of God. He is God himself. Muslims acknowledge that he was born of a virgin, but they have no idea why. When you ask them, they fumble. They have no idea why. They say it's a miracle. What kind of miracle is that? You ask them why Jesus is the only character in the Quran who is described as giving life to inanimate beings. This is something that in the culture, within the time, within the context, within the theological religious context, this is only reserved to God himself. Only God himself can breathe life into inanimate beings. Jesus also does it. This is something only God does. Why does he do this? Muslims will once again say, well, it's a miracle given to Jesus. What exactly is the purpose of this miracle? Why was Jesus the only person who did this? So, if we trust the Quran's message that Jesus was a righteous man and Jesus was a prophet, a person who spoke the truth on behalf of God, on behalf of Allah, then we ought to somehow also rely on the things that he said. Islam rejects the things that he said. Islam rejects the things that happened to him. We know what he said. We know what happened to him. We know what he preached. We believe what he preached. Muslims do not. We believe in the things that happened to him. We believe in the meaning of what happened to him. Muslims do not. So Muslims should never ever go around claiming that they believe in and respect and love Jesus. And I think that this is a very, very important light of truth that can be pointed and that can dispel the darkness that Islam is, the darkness of ignorance. Another example is that in chapter 9, verse 30, and I love this verse, people like to say that I love Jews, and yes, I do love Jews, but I also love the truth, more so than anything. In
Apostate's a Quran lover.
In chapter 9, verse 30, the Quran says the following words, and the Jews say, Ezra is the son of Allah. And the Christians say the Messiah is the Son of Allah. Now when it says the Christians say the Messiah is the Son of Allah, we get the point. It says that Christians believe that Jesus, the Messiah, is the Son of God. By the way, the Quran and Muslims don't have any idea what Messiah actually means and what the function of the Messiah is. However, the first statement, we need to stop there for a second. Jews say Ezra is the son of Allah. There has never been a Jew in history that we know of who has ever held such a belief. There has never been a Jewish community that has ever held such a belief. That Ezra, the prophet Ezra, the scribe Ezra, whom we find in the Bible, who is a prophet and a scribe, who does the word of God, who establishes the truth of God. There is no single Jewish community that has ever believed that he is the Son of God or that he is God. They want to obfuscate this and want to somehow interpret this away. Well, we can go to the Hadith, where Muhammad even extensively explains this once again, and he says that on the Day of Judgment, the Jews will be called forth and they will be asked, what did you, Jews as a collective, used to believe? And the Jews will say, we used to believe in Ezra. We used to worship Ezra, the son of God. And Allah will tell them, you are liars, and will therefore send them to hell. Whereafter he will call the Christians and will say, what did you used to believe in? And the Christians will say, we used to worship Jesus, the son of Allah. And he will also say to them, you are liars, therefore go to hell. So Muhammad and the Quran clearly establish this weird belief that Jews believe in the divinity and sonship of Ezra, and nobody has any idea what the Quran is talking about. This still puzzles everyone, scholars all across the board, and Muslims as well. Some say that some people in Yemen or in Arabia actually did hold such a belief, but we have the historical records from Jews and others of what Jews in those regions believed. Nobody ever believed that Ezra is the son of God. It seems that the Jews were trolling Muhammad at the time, or somebody told something to Muhammad and he misunderstood it, and he introduced it as a revelation by the perfect, almighty, all-knowing Allah, God, in the Quran. The Quran is supposed to be perfect. It is not meant to have any mistakes. This is a very clear mistake, and in my opinion, this can be clearly used as not just an evidence, it can be used as proof, or at least as very strong evidence, that the Quran is a made-up book, a made-up word of men, of ignorant men, and that therefore Islam is false. Another point is that the Quran talks about the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary.
Mother Mary.
And Mother Mary, and it describes Mother Mary as the sister of Aaron and the daughter of Imran. Muslims don't know much about the Bible and about biblical figures. When we look at the Bible, we see that there was a Mary, or a Maryam, who was the daughter of a person named Amram, which sounds oddly similar to Imran. And Mary, that was not Mother Mary. It was a different Mary who lived over 1,000 years before Mother Mary. That was the prophetess Miriam, as we know her in the English-speaking world, or the prophetess Maryam, a completely different person. For some reason, the Quran thinks that because these two figures by the same name, Mary or Maryam, exist, that they are somehow the same person, and that the mother of Jesus himself was also the sister of Aaron and the daughter of Amram or Imran. This can be used as very, very clear evidence that the Quran has once again no clue what it is talking about. These are just very few examples, but very few strong examples of how shallow and of how stupid, to be honest, how ignorant, how idiotic and man-made Islam is, and what a book of man-made ignorance the Quran is. We should be able to speak about this, and we should be able to point out what kind of a false, unreliable and nonsensical religion this is. And everybody should be equipped with these pieces of truth and with more to go out and to dispel the darkness, to bring the truth of light, or the light of truth, into it. Another issue that I will not go into explaining, but I will simply give a little shout out to my dear friend David Wood, who loves to use the argument, the flawless argument of the Islamic dilemma, and our dear friend Chris, who is a regular here at Speaker's Corner, who just wrote a book about it called The Islamic Dilemma, which you can find online and order from Amazon directly to your homes, which also has a foreword by my dear friend David Wood. It is a fantastic book which absolutely dismantles and humiliates and crushes Islam. It is a solid bulletproof argument, and everyone should get that book by Chris himself, and with a foreword of David Wood. It is called The Islamic Dilemma. Get it. Of course, we can talk endlessly about all the other issues that Islam has, such as the sexual immoralities, the pedophilic tendencies, the violence and everything. But I think most importantly, we need to point out what a false religion, what an ignorant religion it is, and how it cannot hold up to the truth. So with all that, thank you all for listening. And shout out here to Bob, who is the major speaker here, who has given me a great inspiration. He doesn't want to take any praise, but I'll praise him anyway. Shout out to Bob here. Bob. And final words. Stay away from Islam. Thank you.
Welcome to the speakers.
Right, shall we go get a drink?
Any questions?
Let's do it.
Love, bro. No questions.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I will take all the mics with me.
You know, when it comes to Islam, they mentioned.
How was it?
Don't worry, it's
Not too bad.
Brilliant. The best. That was so good.
That is mine.
Is it? Oh, that's
They mentioned. What? There's no God on it. Yeah, but Muhammad is his last messenger.
Yeah.
But then, when I look at this is not a message. This is his name. So when you go to the other, what is the message?
Hey, are you guys staying or going?
No, we're going.
You're going? Okay. Okay, guys, listen. So yeah, AP and Bob Sealer, they're going. And we're going to stay here just to support the family at Speaker's Corner.
Plus, you can get the audio from these guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can take it down from my channel. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, shall we walk and talk?
Thank you. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah?
Let's walk and talk. All right, cool. Okay, family. Apologies for the audio. Someone, apparently, unplugged the cable.
So good one.
So, yeah, apologies for that. So they're going for a drink. I don't know where they're coming. Are they coming back? Hey, are they coming back or what? Yeah, probably.
I missed out.
Probably gonna be coming back. Oh, what's going on, guys? Yeah, you're live, by the way. All right, cool, family. Listen, so, yeah, man, share the link. Hit a like. Let's see what's going on with Arul. I think Arul is cooking, though. Bless him.
He's alive right now. Why did they kill him? He was good. You're worshiping somebody who's been killed. You understand the gospel? That is why Jesus died on the cross. And he rose again. How can God die?
I come from India. Nations across the world received an Islamic messenger, the Quran claims, in people's mother tongues.
I will hold.
So the Quran claims across the world, different nations had different Islamic messengers, pre-Islam, pre-7th century, different messengers who proclaimed Islam in their own mother tongues. We know this is utter junk. There was no Islam proclaimed in Turkey pre-Islam. There was no Islam proclaimed in Iran pre-Islam, in Iraq pre-Islam, in Algeria pre-Islam, in the Western world, in Italy pre-Islam. No, this is just junk. Absolutely junk. The Quran also claims that God destroyed many nations when they did not receive Islam in the past, pre-Islam. We know this is junk also. There is no such God who interacted and destroyed nations because people did. Yes. History. We know this is just junk. Most importantly, for example, even at the origin of Islam, it claims that the Mecca should have been. They said in Surah 2, Ayah 114, they said no Islamic Allah here. We don't do Islamic Allah here. That's why they prevented in the 7th century when Muslims claimed, the early Muslims, Muhammad and his entourage claimed, hey look, this building should belong to them, to us. They said no. That's why they were prevented entry into that building. Yeah. So everything about Islam, about the Quran, not Islam, about the Quran is wrong. Science, history, logic, basic logical mistakes. The Quran claims just because this is good literary work, which is historically not true, but even if you assume it is true for a moment, just because a good is a good literary work doesn't mean it has to be from God.
Like as I told you, I don't have enough knowledge for that, but I think
but this particular question, you don't need knowledge of Quran. I'm asking you, just because, for example, in Turkey, Turkish, just because, in Turkish, you have literature,
Yeah, of course.
Just because a literature is good literature, doesn't mean it is from God.
I think so. It's not also like you're saying that there are some mistakes in it.
No, I'm not talking about mistakes.
Of course,
good
as a literature.
Like using good eloquent language.
Yeah.
Just because you speak good eloquent language doesn't mean it is from God.
So it's a hard question, but
it's a very easy question.
It's not. It's easy, but in my English level, it's not so easy to explain.
I'll give you a simple example.
Yeah.
In English, there are literatures such as Shakespeare's works.
Yeah, of course.
Marvelous English literature.
It's like a more poetic, but not logical.
Yeah, I mean, just because something is good, excellent English literature, it doesn't mean it is from God.
Okay, I understand
Simple
your
logical question.
I think it's okay, but inside the meanings and the things that you said, the history and science, there are lots of also true ones, and I think all of them are true.
Which of them? I gave you plenty
like
of
the
mistakes.
embryo you said, which process is wrong in the embryo?
According to the Quran, Quran's embryology, first of all, it gives details about embryology in a few different places, and it contradicts each other, first of all. Second of all, in one of the places, it actually says, according to Quranic embryology, the bones come first, and then flesh. This is bonkers. Like it's just junk.
If I know it's 100%, I will tell you something, but I don't know it. So
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So you don't
but
know,
I need
but
to
I'm
read
telling
it.
you. but the point is, I can show you if you like. For now, the point is, Quran's embryology is just junk. It's just junk.
So I need to make a research about it.
So
So
you need to.
Like I need to check some research, like the sources. So if I convince about them, it will be fine. But in my research level, I'm not so high of it, so I think it's correct. But I need to make a research about the detail.
No.
Yeah, of course.
When you don't know,
you
can neither say it is right nor wrong.
Yeah, it's
Can I show you what it says?
Yeah.
And let's go through it. Yeah. So Surah 23, ayats 12 to 14. So if we go here, sorry. Surah 23. Do you see that? Ayat 12 to 14. Surah 23. And certainly we did create man from an extract of
Okay, so
clay.
everybody knows 13 is the first one that is easily known.
Sure. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Then we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot. So it claims sperm, when it fertilizes, becomes a blood clot. Is that true?
I have no idea about this
Okay,
actually.
I can show you human embryology.
What does clot mean?
Blood. When blood comes out, if I have a cut, if blood comes out, it solidifies.
It will dry, yeah.
Dries, yeah. So that's a clot. So that's human embryology development.
Yes.
Fertilized egg. 2 cell. When it fertilizes, it forms what is called a zygote.
Yeah.
And then it divides 1 cell.
Yeah.
Divides into 2 cells. 2 cells divide into 4, and then 8, and so on. And then you have fetus like that.
Yeah.
In 5 weeks.
Okay.
And then, do you see a stage where it's a blood clot? Is there a blood clot phase?
As an explanation, no.
No, there's no blood clot. Anyone who thinks sperm and ovum come together to form a blood clot doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue about embryology. But, this could very well be from a person who clearly doesn't understand science, who is maybe looking at things that he observes externally. And of course, when it comes to reproductive organs, we have, women have, the menstruation and, time when blood comes out. So clearly he is thinking, oh, maybe this has something to do with blood and so on. So, so people can make mistakes when they don't know science. That's the kind of mistake we're dealing with here. So what does it say? Sperm in a firm lodging, and it says sperm drop into a clinging clot, blood clot. Okay. Wrong. And then it goes on. And we made the clot into a lump, meaning lump of flesh. And we made the lump bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. So according to this, it says first bones are formed, according to the Quran. Yeah. First bones are formed, and then flesh, like the flesh is formed around the bones. And it's almost like, you think, if I'm making you like a statue, and of course what is internal to you are your bones, structural. So maybe I make your bones first and then try to, give flesh to you on top. So that's what I would do if I'm doing you like that. But that's not how embryos are formed. So this is a basic mistake. Basic mistake. Except, clearly, even you in the 21st century, you haven't studied to check if it is true. So we can imagine how in the 7th century Arabia, people did not take the trouble to check. And they thought, hey, look, this is marvelous science. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So that's a mistake in science. It is not just this. Like I said earlier.
Like as you said, I cannot say it's right, and I can say it's wrong. So I need to check it by myself and make a research about it.
Please. And
so
this is where I showed you both.
Yeah.
Both embryonic development.
Like, you're right. Like if I need to make a comment on this section, I need to study on the biology. So it's not so easy because it says some details. But maybe in that part, there's something about the blood.
Please do study.
Yeah, of course.
What I'm showing you here is popular science. When I say popular science,
without learning, we will
study. You study this in schooling.
Yeah, of
here,
course, but it's not in the details.
So
yeah,
it's not easy, and you might have forgotten. You might have studied.
Yeah, of course, it was so. Yeah, it was so previously.
But when you go home, please study this in detail. I'm
check.
showing you, and I'm telling you this is wrong.
Yeah, of course, we will check
based on my study. So please study. So what did I say? Science mistakes.
Yeah.
Basic mistakes. Is there a setting place of sun in the world anywhere? If I need to go to the setting place of the sun, where do I go in the world?
The setting place? What do you mean by
of the sun?
The sun, yeah.
Where does the sun set? Is there a particular place where the sun sets? If I showed you Google Maps, will you be able to tell me where the sun sets?
It's according to Earth's motion,
Yeah, according to motion. But if I showed you, so this is of course the UK map of UK. But if I ask you, please, can you help me understand where does the sun set? Is there a particular place you can point out to?
It's on the specific position. It will be west and the east. Yeah,
it's just directions. There's no place. But Surah 18 actually describes how Dhul-Qarnayn went one way and he arrived at this setting place of the sun. Near that there was a village and he had an interaction there. And then he left that place, went the other way and arrived at the setting place of rising place of the sun, near which apparently there is a village. So according to the Quran, these are two specific villages by which there are rising and setting places of sun.
Yeah.
This is just junk.
Maybe it was about like hidden somethings about the literature. That it's saying something, but it's not actually saying this.
You see the problem with this? The problem with this is across the Islamic world, you think the Quran is from God because of science. So in other words, you are depending on the scientific claims. But the scientific claims suddenly, now we have to say, well, they're not scientific, they are maybe poetry. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except in this case, it is meant to be literal because it is describing events. Dhul-Qarnayn goes to a place, he sees it set in a setting place, near which there was a village, a specific village.
Yeah.
And then he goes the other way and goes to the rising place near which there was a particular village. So this is a historical event according to the Quran.
Yeah.
You see, so these are specific literal places.
Yeah.
So the Quran makes fundamental mistakes. And so I'd like to comment to you that the Quran could not be from God. Could not be from God. Whoever produced the Quran is not just not God, but is also someone who doesn't even know basic science.
Okay, so if
basic history.
Yeah, of course. But if you are living in the 6th century, how you can just randomly just how can I say explain the process of the embryo? It's correct or not? Like you are sitting in the 6th century and just sitting in the the garden, and you will say, let's write something about the embryo process, or just let's say the universe is expanding, and it's correct about as a real science.
No.
It's also expanding.
No. Let's stick to embryology. Please make.
Yeah, no, I don't know about the details.
You know what the
about
Quran
embryology.
says? The Quran speaks about sperm.
Yeah.
The Quran speaks about, it says fluid. It doesn't know about ovum.
Yeah.
It says fluid. These are things that human beings could see.
Yeah, of course,
when
I
it comes
understand.
to physical intimacy, people can see some of these details.
Yeah.
And so you don't need a 6th century person with some intelligent brain to talk about this. Any human being would have observed some basic details.
Yeah,
Blood somehow related to blood somehow, and then the fact that we have bones, the fact that we have flesh. That doesn't take any much intelligence, except the fact that he makes tremendous mistakes tell us he is not even capable of a simple conversation, simple, scientific claim. But this is a fellow who doesn't understand basic science. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So the Quran could not be from God. Talk about history. The Quran's history, claims of history, is just bonkers. It is wrong. Junk. Did Turkey have an Islamic messenger pre-Islam in Turkish language?
No, we didn't have it.
No. The Quran claims across the world, all people in their native tongues received an Islamic messenger. It's junk.
Yeah, we have actually, but not on the Ottoman Empire. In the history, Islamic
Pre-Islam.
history. Yeah.
Pre-Islam. The Quran's claim is all nations across the world in their mother tongues received an Islamic messenger.
What does it say?
The Quran claims across the world, every nation has its appointed time, and at its appointed time...
It says every nation has their own prophets. Like
every nation, exactly.
I don't know where this says that.
This is the fundamental tenet in Islam.
No, in my country it's not actually.
No, it's there in the Quran. I can show you where it is. Surah Al-An'am. Have you read Surah Al-An'am? Surah Al-An'am speaks about this. By the way, this is a book I have written on Islam, so let me one second.
Huh?
What is the topic?
Huh?
What is the topic?
The topic is the mistakes in the Quran. It's not the word of God, he says.
Okay. And what is the word of God?
Huh?
The Quran is not the word of God. What is?
He says own things that he's saying, that everything is like junk. Like you say, embryo process is not correct.
Everything is junk.
The science theology, science is not correct also, he says.
Science is not correct?
Yeah, it's not, Quran is not same with the science. It's mistakes he says.
But science do not agree in the miraculous birth of Jesus.
Yeah, he says...
Yeah, but science don't agree with that. Most science will tell you Jesus does not have a miraculous birth. Science will not agree in the resurrection of Jesus.
This guy...
Yeah, I think so too.
Exactly. So what happened to science then? Most scientists are atheists.
Yeah.
So science doesn't prove that the Quran being wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Same too.
The Quran proves science wrong.
Yes.
Please listen. Please listen. The gentleman standing next to you is utterly clueless. He comes here every week. He has been here for many years.
Yeah.
Yet he can't make sense. I will demonstrate that to you.
But I think every idea is valuable. Yeah.
One second. I'll clarify, because he thinks he has made an intelligent point, but he hasn't. I'll clarify what that is. He said, when I presented details about embryology and said the Quran's embryology is junk, I gave you contra evidence that contradicts. Now you said you'll go home and check.
It needs to be checked. So you must be studying on the biology to say something.
Absolutely, you need to. That is why I didn't force that upon you. I said I've shown you. When you go home, you can check.
Yeah.
But what did the gentleman? What did the gentleman say?
Science doesn't judge the Bible.
What did the gentleman say?
Science don't.
What did the gentleman say?
The revelation.
What did the gentleman say? What did the gentleman say? The gentleman, if science contradicts what some book is claiming, if science contradicts, clearly that book is wrong.
No, science is wrong. Science contradicts
the miraculous birth of Jesus.
Adam, please.
Science contradicts the resurrection
Adam, I'm
of
speaking.
Jesus.
Please,
So then science right then.
Adam, I'm speaking to you.
Science don't believe in it.
Please, Adam, please, I'm speaking to you. Please focus on me.
But it's a group conversation.
Here is where.
It's a group
I'm
conversation.
Here is where, please pay attention right now. There is nothing in science that contradicts a virgin birth of Jesus. Nothing. What in science? Is there a law that says virgin birth God can't achieve? Is there any such law?
It's not scientific.
Scientific law?
It's not scientific.
It's
not scientific.
It's like a miracle of the God.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
God
It's not
can.
scientific. Which scientist agrees with it?
There is a difference between saying God can perform miracles.
Of course, yeah.
God
and
can
also
perform.
via the prophets, they can.
God can perform miracles. We both agree.
Yeah.
Both of us agree. I agree. God can perform miracles. But God can't get basic scientific details wrong.
God don't deal with
Do
science.
you hear what I'm saying?
God don't deal with human science.
You have two hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have two hands.
Yeah.
Now, it is true
We're
that
talking
God...
about science. Which science?
No,
To
please.
be specific. Which science are we talking about?
It is true that God can suddenly give you, there's nothing preventing, if He wanted to give you one more hand, for example. God can do it.
Yeah, He can do it, but okay.
He can do it, yeah?
Yeah.
But God can give you an additional hand right now, which would be clearly a miracle.
Yeah.
But God can't come here and say you only have one hand. He can't do that.
Yeah, but that analogy
Because
is flawed.
hear what I'm
because
saying?
nowhere in history
God
God gave a
cannot-
man three hands.
Yeah, of course.
So his analogy is flawed.
Adam,
It's a
I'm
flawed
focusing
analogy.
on it. Please focus on
Yeah,
it.
but it's flawed.
This gentleman,
It's false.
This gentleman,
The analogy is false.
utterly clueless,
God never gave
has been
anybody
here
three
for
hands.
many-
Are you a Hindu?
So to you,
Are you a Hindu?
very simply,
So three hands come
God
from Hinduism.
performing-
You cannot impose Hinduism on a Muslim.
Adam, if you're going to be distracted, I'll move away.
Then you can
I'll
go.
move. So
You can go if you want.
Would you like to have a
We have a
conversation?
conversation. You can go. Yeah, you can go.
When you go home, please find out.
If God want to give you three
So
hands,
this
then
is the problem we have. Basic science, terrible mistakes. Basic science.
God never give anybody three hands. That Hinduism, man.
God can perform miracles, but God can't make mistakes. It's basic science. Basic, simple to understand
But he's using
information.
human science
God,
above
when
the
you
Quran.
go home, please.
Human
remember
science
just
above the Quran. The question
God
is,
can
the same human
perform
science you put
miracles.
in above
God
the Quran, those
cannot
same
make
science-
mistakes. Two very simple statements. So, my dear friends, oh yes, sir. In the 21st century, we have a choice to make. Even at Speaker's Corner, there are people advancing this weird, useless claim that the Quran is from a supernatural source. This is what people are claiming at Speaker's Corner. Don't say. You must apologize. And whilst apologizing, if you please move away, that'll be lovely. So, at the same time, my dear friends, come to the Bible. The Bible is a marvelous literature. Hello, my dear COVID friends. Both of you, the Bible is marvelous literature. The Bible, one can clearly see, is from God. Very simple, very straightforward. How do we understand the historical claims made in the Bible? If you don't touch me,
I didn't touch you.
do you think you have encroached into my personal
Do you want me
space?
to move back? Would you like me?
It's not my liking, it's basic sense. It's not.
Do you want me to move back?
Listen carefully.
Yes,
It's
I'm
not
listening.
my liking.
I'm listening to him. I'm listening to him.
It's not my liking, it's basic sense.
Okay.
If you have sense, if you can, there's plenty of space there.
All right.
Go
But
stand by, no, plenty of space. If you give me some personal space, when there is
I wouldn't
plenty of
listen- I wouldn't be
space,
able to hear what you're saying.
not interested. So if you stay there, don't come near me.
All right.
When there is plenty of space, I don't feel the need why Abdullah needs a Al-Zud service near me. So my dear friends, we have ideologies clashing in front of us as we see. The ideology of jihad, the ideology of pedophilic sex slavery, the ideology of hate, genocide, the ideology The ideology of death and destruction
Share the link.
is clashing.
Don't be lazy. And hit the like.
Clashing the worldview of life as we speak, my dear friends. Even in our nation. So you are here, sir. You're wearing. Please come here.
I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it.
Give him a chance. Lovely to see you.
Hey.
Lovely to see you. Good that you're here.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Lovely to see you here.
Lovely to see you. How come? Okay. I tried speaking to you many, many times, and you keep waffling on.
Right. Have a good conversation. Have a good conversation. Otherwise.
Yeah. And then today, I'm not even trying to talk to you, and you're approaching me, man.
From what I understand, I am stood here. You came to me.
I didn't come to you, man.
In English, we say that we
I didn't come to
describe
you, man.
that as you approaching me. But that's fine. Let's stay focused right now.
I was heading towards your direction, but I didn't come
That's
to you.
what we say. You approach me. That's how we describe that.
I wasn't approaching
English,
you.
it's basic. Don't worry. You look confused. You're waffling.
I'm not
don't
confused,
worry.
man.
But let's stay focused right
I'm
now.
confusing you
Let's-
about how I came to you.
Sure. Let's stay focused right now. The Quran. You are a Muslim.
Inshallah. Alhamdulillah.
You are a Muslim. You represent the Quran. You represent the Quran. I am a Christian.
Yeah.
And I know my Bible and I know your Quran.
Yeah.
And you're wearing this funny clothes, funny colored t-shirt. So let's talk about this very important problem the world is currently facing.
Let me just take it off, man.
Yeah, please take it off. Are you taking off your t-shirt also?
Whoa, easy, relax, man. Relax, man. Don't get yourself excited.
Well, I'm not excited. I'm scared.
Come on, man.
Sorry, I didn't.
Don't get too excited.
Who mic'd me up, man?
Don't get too excited.
MI5 are closing in on you, so you better
FBI, man.
be careful. You better be careful. So I misunderstood.
What do I need to be careful about?
I misunderstood. I thought that was Palestine. No, that's fine. But this is, what flag is that?
But it's meant to be the Palestinian flag.
It's a Palestinian flag? Is
Yeah.
that a Palestinian? Okay, look. Let's discuss this very important topic, my dear friends. A good way, a simple way to compare and contrast two different worldviews that we see represented at Speaker's Corner right now, right here. The biblical worldview and the Quranic worldview. A good way of comparing and contrasting is by trying to find out what is happening in Israel today and what the truth is. So my dear friend, let me ask you a simple question. According to the Bible and according to history outside of the Quran, which is solid history, the land is called Israel in the Middle East, where Jesus was born. The land historically was Israel.
Bethlehem.
And today,
he was born in a major, man.
is Israel.
Was he born in
And
a major?
According to the Bible,
Did the three wise men come to
don't
see him?
waffle on. I'm still speaking. Please
Oh,
listen
easy,
carefully.
relax, man.
Please
I
listen
come
carefully.
your direction.
According to
You
the
mic
Bible,
me up.
According
What's
to the
going on,
Bible,
man?
according to the Bible,
I'm asking you according to the Bible.
Jeremiah chapter 33 will continue to be Israel until the end. So God of the Bible is very clear, my dear friends. You can read about this in the book of Jeremiah.
What's he clear about?
One second.
What's he clear about?
If you listen, you will understand. And once I have presented, set the stage, you can jump in and waffle on for the world to see.
I'm not going to waffle on, man.
For the world to see.
I'm going to have to rectify your misconstrued ideas.
According to the Bible,
According to the Bible,
Israel will remain as Israel until the end, come what may. Jeremiah chapter 33.
Well, read
God,
it then.
I will read. But Jeremiah
read
chapter
it.
33.
Read it, man. Get your book out. Read it, man.
Jeremiah 33. Jeremiah 33 verses 25 and 26. Thus says the Lord.
Go back to school. Go back to school. You are a fascist.
Okay, peace. My dear friends, peace. So please come here, sir. Don't run away.
I'm not running anywhere.
Jeremiah 33.
I'm not running anywhere.
Jeremiah 33, verses 25 and 26.
I'm filming you.
I'm reading. Here.
I'm filming you. Don't worry.
25 and 26. Thus says Yehovah, if my covenant is not with the day and night, if I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then I will cast away the descendants of Jacob and David, my servant, so that I will not take any of his descendants to be rulers over the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I will cause their captives to return and will have mercy on them. So listen carefully.
I'm listening.
According to... Don't fall down. Don't break away. Hold on to the rails. Please, thank you. So according to the Bible, God says, for as long as there is day and night, God's covenant with Israel, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and King David will stand. That's the Bible. But according to the Quran, Surah 17, if Israel rejected Islam, Israel will be rejected. According to Surah 17.
Read that again, what the Bible said.
Please listen.
Read
No,
the Bible.
I haven't finished my point.
You know.
Once I finish my point,
you know.
Once I finish my point, you can waffle on. Now
I'm
you're
not waffling
listening.
on, man. I'm.
Surah 17.
All you're doing is a monologue.
Surah 17 says.
Monologue, man.
Yeah, it's called. Yeah, a dialogue has two monologues.
It's not a dialogue.
According to the Quran, Surah 17, if Israel rejected Islam, Israel would be rejected. And of course, Israel, by the Islamic Allah. And we know Israel predominantly rejected Islam. And so according to the Quran, Israel is today rejected. And even today, there are people like you fighting.
Where does Israel stand
Israel.
in Christianity?
So please help me understand.
In Christianity.
How could
Are you a Christian?
Allah
Are you a Christian?
be God of the Bible? Please help me understand.
Junior, are you a Christian?
Please help me understand.
Are you
how
a Christian?
Could
are you struggling with that simple
Yehovah
question? Are you
of the
struggling with that
Bible
question?
Could be.
Are you struggling with a simple
Allah
question?
of the
Are you a
Quran.
Christian? Are you a Christian?
I am.
Okay.
How
When
could
you
the
say
Islamic
I am,
Allah,
you're not claiming to be God, are you?
Are you confused?
I hope you're not saying
Are you
I am.
confused right now? I am here, sir. Are you confused right now?
No, I'm asking
No,
you.
are you confused?
Are you claiming to be God when you say I am?
Are you a Muslim, my dear friend? You are a Christian. Lovely, good to see you.
Okay.
Now, I've asked a very simple question. From what I can see,
Whoa.
are you a Muslim, my dear friend? You are a Muslim.
You're not a Christian.
I asked a very simple question.
Where does Israel stand? Okay, with you being a Christian. Where does Israel stand?
Israel.
Do you accept Israel or do you reject Israel?
Hear me carefully.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions and then not listen.
I'm listening. Okay.
According to the Bible.
Stop trying to get a wind up. You're talking to me, man. Okay.
According to the
Relax,
Bible.
man.
I am
Relax.
Okay. Are you at some stage going to stop right now?
I'm asking you just relax, man.
I know you asked, and then you're waffling on. At some
I'm
stage,
not
are you going
waffling,
to stop
man.
right now? You are going to
Okay.
stop.
The camera will work out who's waffling.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
It'll work out
according to
whether
the Bible-
I'm waffling or whether you're waffling.
According to the Bible.
The audience will work out who's waffling.
According to the Bible.
According to the Bible, where do you stand as a Christian?
I am standing at Speaker's Corner right now.
I know that.
And
I know that.
And according to the Bible, Israel is God's beloved until the end, come what may. And if I could read again, if my covenant...
What does Israel say about your Lord Jesus Christ?
Could I respond to your question?
What does Israel say about
Could
your Lord Jesus
you
Christ?
asked me a question, now you're
What does Israel say about your Lord Jesus
question
Christ?
I asked was simple. If you did not know an answer, you could have
My
just
question
said you don't have an answer.
My question is very simple.
Instead,
my
just
question is
waffling.
very simple.
Is the Islamic Allah same as the Yehovah of the Bible when clearly they are polar opposites?
Why are you struggling?
According to Yehovah,
why are you running over there? Why are you running?
With day and night,
where does Israel
will
stand with Christianity?
According to the Islamic
where
Allah,
does Israel stand with Christianity?
According
Simple
to
question.
the Islamic Allah,
where does Israel
would have
stand
been
with Christianity?
Would have been rejected when Israel rejected
Is the
Islam.
question too hard for you?
Surah 17. Surah 5.
Do you know what Israel is?
64.
Do you know Israel the person? And do you know Israel the country?
So the question
Do you know
right
that
now,
there's different Israels?
The question right now to you is very simple.
My question is very
How
simple.
can you ever claim
Where
that
does
the Islamic
Israel,
Allah
the country,
is the same
stand
as Yehovah?
with you as a Christian?
So you clearly are clueless. Please, if you don't waste someone else's time, please.
I'm not wasting. You're wasting my time, man. You're wasting my time. Simple question.
Don't give up on him.
Yeah.
You see, your friend is saying I need to increase the medication.
All you're doing is running away.
No, he says, your friend says,
you need to increase your medication.
I need to increase his medication.
Don't worry. Don't worry, I need to increase it. Don't worry, relax, man. Relax.
Thank you. So, the challenge, my dear friends, is this.
Oh, it's a challenge.
God bless.
Islamic Allah.
May God guide us all closer to the truth, man.
Which is what
Amen.
I was trying to see.
I know,
my best,
you was trying.
But clearly, in your case, it isn't going to happen anytime soon. What I can say. So we need to move on.
It's just a one sentence.
Cut.
Please.
Cut.
One sentence.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Israel.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, family, this. Sorry, bro. We'll make the discussion from the beginning later, okay? Don't complain.
So I said, I quote, I want a homogenous country. I gave a different bandwidth between 85 and 95%, and I asked you, which you didn't give me an answer. No, I literally said it right here. If you weren't bothering and interrupting me, you would have heard it. And I also said,
last week you said 95%.
I wasn't even here last week.
100%.
Weren't even here. Never said 100% either.
Your behavior seems
Fantastic. You can be a psychologist all you want. So I want to round up on all the points you've said. The first point is, my previous friend was trying to make 2 points. First of all, the hate crime, the hate speech laws in this country are totally unexcusable. Because I could say, I want to kill races of people in this country. That's obviously legal. It should be. Because an act of violence, Hold on. An act of violence. Not my friend, an anonymous account. I gave it to him because he was going to moderate the channel. But anyways, the second point he was trying to make was how the right was drastically becoming extreme. And he gave an analogy on how the sort of moderate national mass migration did not have the democratic consent of its people, and we do need to create a hostile environment for a lot of migrants coming into this country. And the joke was, and it was a bit more of a skit, was that gradually, if we'd actually get a hold on this migration crisis, we could get to a point in this country where people genuinely hold to it. That was why I was laughing. And it's like, there's a lot of political skits, like the People's Chant of Judea. We talk about how extreme political movements are coming to.
Details, right? So you're looking for a country that's 90 to 95% white British.
Yeah, regionally,
right? So how are we going to accomplish that?
Yeah, so we create a hostile environment. So if you read Restore Britain's 120-page document, it goes into more articulate detail into how we achieve that. But I believe that we should create a hostile environment.
One thing I want
Fantastic.
To add. The Muslim population of this country is 6.5%, 7% of this country. They're an integral part of this country. They are part of this community and they help this British community prosper. The average Muslim donates over £700 to charity annually, whereas the
What sorts of charities do they donate
to? Is £105. I'm talking about various aspects of the British
Muslim
community.
The problem I have,
the British Muslim community is up and coming.
You gonna wear that?
What, stop anti-Semitism? Yeah, I don't like anti-Semitism.
The next generation.
Racism,
Nigel Farage,
you're descending into
in
racism.
Reform, which I'm sure you agree, he has said that the British Muslim community is an integral part of the UK.
I don't believe that.
But Nigel Farage has said that.
Okay, I'm not with Nigel Farage. I was canvassing for Restore Britain for the past week.
But I think people, they don't understand the nitty-gritty details, so I'm trying to explain to them.
Are you speaking to me or are you speaking to the camera like a showman?
The fact is,
Labour, the Conservatives, Liberal Democrats, the Greens, and Reform all think you're an extremist.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
And I agree with you because they're all part of the establishment. Yeah. And in fact, if you actually polled it, so recently,
sure.
you must know that the average general member of the public for the last 150 years has had the average economic and social policy of New Labour. If you poll each constituency, it's a poll that's done mostly towards local and also national elections.
I want to get to the focus, which is...
No, hold on, I let you speak. 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 No, I'm not dodging the fact. I'm in fact responding to your point that the general public is in line with my position. And I'll tell you why with polls. So towards local and national elections, they will poll the economic and social policies of each constituency on average. And traditionally, your average constituent had the social and economic policy of a new Labour Blairite, right? And a recent poll done close to the local elections has found that 64% of everyone in each constituency polled found that is actually economy. And as I believe genuinely, and you keep on touring around the country.
Against migration, but they think you're an extremist.
Yes. Part of the establishment took in a bunch of Tories. Said mass deportation was community in this country.
Took willing to host this guy is a party
run with 100,000 members, 600 branches. Hosting media establishments.
Political party that
yes.
only runs in Great Yarmouth.
Of course. Because they're just established
in
4 months.
It's only run in Great Yarmouth though?
Because you're vetting over 1,000.
They couldn't register candidates in time.
Yeah, you couldn't vet the candidates in time.
Vet the candidates? God, I wouldn't like to see the vetting process.
So I just want to clarify one thing. Does Restore Britain, do they believe in the same, do you agree with Restore Britain's view of remigration?
Yes.
Yes. And what is that?
So Restore Britain's policy on remigration, again, I can't condense a 120-page document into one. They want to create a hostile environment for migrants, which includes, fantastic. Because there's so many of them coming in.
Sure.
You know, I wish the best for these people. I wish that we could actually accept migrants into this country without it replacing the native people. Like, as a Christian, I genuinely have love for these people, and I also disagree with sort of boomer talking points that we shouldn't help other countries in the globe, right? If there are Christians being persecuted in different lands, we should be able to help these people.
Care about Christians as well.
Of course I do.
He's not a Christian.
Of course I do.
You're an ethno-nationalist. Let's go to, okay, so you're now, I'm a bit confused because like last UK?
No, for briefly I was a member,
now you
yeah.
jumped already?
I was a member.
You're a member, so now you're a Restore, right?
Yeah, a member of Restore. Okay. I have no formal position in any party, and I don't want to. I just...
You don't want to?
Yeah, I
That's
just simply want to campaign for movements, people, and candidates I believe in. And it was very telling of me that I'd be able to go into Advance UK that didn't have as strong as a remigration policy as I have. Because I practically work within the bounds of the political spectrum in this country. And that's why I believe the vast amount of general public of this country believes that migration is a bad thing for this country. That migration is like a contextual thing. It should be able to enhance the actual workforce of this country, but it can't.
The vast majority of this country believe and what you believe. You believe in a 90 to 95% white British state. You are clearly
not white.
First of all,
not white. I don't want to be demographically replaced by Polish people.
He hasn't even defined what British means, or why a British person is.
Okay, so
this guy can't even answer what a conservative is.
No, hang on.
He's an idiot.
What is
No, it's how you're teaming up with the Christian sectarian, and he did it with Jono as well, because he actually been using this. All I find funny, and this is actually very...
Okay, what I was talking about with Jono...
Okay, now he speaks to the camera.
What I was talking about with Jono, which you're trying to misrepresent me.
So you have worked with Jono in the past, right? Have nothing to do with my kids. Like, man, they can't even look at my Twitter. No, hold on. You interrupted me. And this is the reason why I had a discussion with you, right? If you have a problem, you speak to me. You don't, in fact, go to other people who have kids and can't spend the time scrolling and doom scrolling on a young boy Twitter page.
Right, can I talk about two things, right? Both things you mentioned. First of all, the discussion I had with Jono, it wasn't even to do with him. I don't know why he's quoting that. That was to do with a figure called Ricky Doolin, who is the person that converted Tommy Robinson to Christianity.
He claims that Tommy doesn't.
And he's leading the United Kingdom rally, right? Yeah? Yeah?
And he's a modalist.
Yeah, he's a modalist, but he's leading the United
And a
Kingdom
gold
rally.
smuggler.
Yeah. So,
And a criminal.
Hang on. Ricky Doolin follows a church, the Spirit Assembly Church, which is run by Pastor Hubert Angel. Hubert Angel
Prophet
is
Angel,
a false
yeah, gold smuggled, yeah.
He's a false prophet in Zimbabwe who claims to do miracles. He's a prosperity preacher. He says people who follow him suddenly have money appear in their bank accounts. Yeah. People who follow him suddenly have their bails cleared. He claims to have moved the moon. Ricky Doolin has claimed to have seen that, and Ricky Doolin has said, Mr. Angel is the best Christian I know. He is my father.
Yeah, I don't agree with him. I've condemned. I've condemned publicly.
Yeah. I want to ask you now, Rob, do you support the United Kingdom protest, whose spiritual father is a false prophet in Zimbabwe?
So, first of all, that's not true. Ricky Doolin is not the spiritual father of the UTK movement, and I would actually not attend if that was true. I don't agree with Pastor Ricky Doolin and his modalism. You know, he's good at singing, good at a band, but if he went on stage and said, this is what the Trinity is, and gave a modalistic answer, I would say, no one engage with this guy. Because I don't agree with Ricky Doolin's ministry at all. I think it's actually going to damage a lot of souls in the long term.
He's taking a leading role in the United Kingdom protest, you know that, right?
Yeah, he's singing.
Well, he's not singing.
Yeah, he is. I was there backstage last Kingdom. Can you, if you find me a listing in which the UTK listed...
If there was an imam leading a movement, would you align?
I'll give you a better analogy. If I was a Muslim, right, and you know, if I was a Muslim, no, hold on.
Why can't you just call out this false?
Yeah, I have. Bob's called him out. I will call him out. I don't like gold smugglers.
Why are you?
Bob literally tweeted about it.
Why are you guys going to the United Kingdom rally?
Okay.
When there's this
because there's millions of other people.
Who's following this false prophet? Yeah.
Okay. So.
It's simple logic.
So the logic is this. If Tommy can mobilize millions of people and they are searching for the Christian faith, I would prefer to be present and at least give my witness of the faith, what I believe Christianity is. And if Ricky Doolin is going to be there with his little guitar and he's not going to talk about the Trinity, I think that's fine.
You got any gold in your backpack?
No.
Did Ricky give you any gold?
Listen.
Did Ricky give you any gold?
Ricky doesn't. Okay.
Does he pay? Does he fund?
From what I've seen, it was very stupid of Ricky Doolin to listen to an Al Jazeera plot where they claimed to be Hong Kong dissidents.
Caught on camera, dude.
Right? Very stupid of him. I don't know anything about him privately. Never really a cup of tea with him or anything. Can't confirm if it's true or not. But he is a modalist at the end of the day. He's not my pastor. He's not been listed as the spiritual father of the UTK rally.
I was simply pointing to the fact that that's the discussion I had with John.
Yes.
The discussion was on Ricky
But you asked me
Doolin.
questions
You were
about
trying
it.
to manipulate that conversation, saying it was about you, when it wasn't. It was
Okay.
about Ricky Doolin.
Because he's
and
publicly said it.
Pastor Angel. So,
Because
the
you
second
publicly
part-
elaborated
The second part where you said I went up to Chris and I was saying,
Yes.
why is the association? You want me
Do you
to
think
prove
it's
it?
fair for someone who has kids, who probably isn't politically
like half the
engaged?
people here
No,
probably
but
have kids. What's that got to do
I'm
with
creating
anything? You're so soft, yes, how do you come here and
I'm
speak
creating a
up?
narrative here. So. He does not know anything about my Twitter page. Doesn't know anything about
Yeah, so
politics.
what's happening here,
He's
ladies
writing a
and
book about
gentlemen?
the
What's happening
Islamic
here,
dilemma.
ladies and gentlemen, is this is kind of a situation where Chris, the Speaker's Corner, he clearly endorses what young Bob is saying, but he can't come out.
Can you
clearly
see it?
about
Can you
because
show
he
me?
has kids, because he has this,
Can you
that,
show
the
me
other.
that? Can you
So
show
he
me where
uses
he's
young Bob,
politically
just like
endorsed
the
my
Afro
views?
nationalists use young Bob to come here and do their dirty work. Chris, the Speaker's Corner.
There's no
gets young Bob to
there's
do
no
dirty
one who
work
even talks about
because
politics
he
at
has
Speaker's
his
Corner.
career on the line. He has young kids. He has all of these things. So that's why I went up to him and I said, how can you be letting someone like you do his dirty work for him when you're throwing
Can you prove that he has
fascist
tried to
salutes
me?
in my face the
Yeah.
last time we had a discussion
Listen,
like this, right?
again,
when you
no
are
context
calling,
taken
and I've
whatsoever.
got the video, when you, and we've all heard the video now, that there's a video out there of him saying mixed race children have genetic issues. When he has been going around here
Because there's genetic issues across the ethnic and racial lines. Like, you understand that the very reason why I'm white and you're darker is because you come from a different people who were exposed to the sun
Okay,
more?
I want to touch on this for a second. So, like, what is the native people of this country?
It's the admixture of the ethnogenesis of this country, which is the Anglo-Saxons, the Mormons, the Cornish, you know.
The Mormons? Okay, hang on. So he's saying the Anglo-Saxons, the Mormons, for some reason.
No, shit, sorry, mispronunciation.
So apparently, he's defined his whole movement on this.
No, I haven't. You just asked me questions about it.
As Mormons. He slipped up. Okay, I'm not gonna label the point. Okay, so you said the Anglo-Saxons,
So can you stop being so eager to interrupt me?
So the
No, because I tried to give a definition of the word.
Just don't say
Okay,
Mormons.
my apologies. First, the sort of only thing I talk about in Speaker's Corner. You try to act like, first of all, I have a lot of contact with Chris. I'm so incredibly busy with politics, I'm barely able to even speak to these people at Speaker's Corner. That's why I think it's incredibly unfair. I don't know what Chris is like in his private life. Don't really speak to the fella. There's certainly a big age difference, so, you know, we couldn't really talk about, you know, things that we have in common. So it's not like he's calling me and telling him to do politics.
Like, you guys have been having conversations saying...
Yes, the only discussion I ever have, the only discussion, I can swear on God, that the only discussions I have with Chris on a regular basis is when he's at this corner. So...
Voice your support of each other multiple times.
No, can you show me where?
After he got
Can you?
attacked,
Yeah, I don't like people being attacked. Tay, if you were rugby tackled by a Christian, I'd call it out on a video.
I'm not condoning the attack, but I'm saying the fact is...
Okay, so then why should I be silent about it? If you will condemn it, if you will condemn it,
You're voicing your support in other areas.
No,
You're
hold
trying
on.
to jump it.
No,
Listen,
hold on.
guys, ask him a simple question.
My friend, I don't think we're going to get anywhere if you're just going to keep on interrupting me.
Because you go on to other areas.
No, I'm trying to, but you keep on interrupting and then keep on asking other questions, and you got your friend James over there. So if you just want to keep on interrupting me, I can very easily speak to the camera, give an answer.
University students outside this corner, but you're not going to be able to handle
Because university students have better manners and are more pious than yourself.
I've let you speak.
No, you haven't. You keep on speaking over me. Okay, let's try have a civil discussion where he doesn't interrupt, you don't interrupt me. Now, the thing is, native people can be, and what it means to be British are two different things. Because Britishness can be a legal identity, it can be a civic one, and it can be an ethnic one, right? I currently believe that we have to create a hostile environment for migrants because there's not been a democratic consent of its people to accept millions of people into this country, right? Unless you can show me otherwise, where we have a referendum on migration, and trust me, I've been part of campaigns to set a mass migration referendum where we actually agree with the rate of migration currently. The second thing I would say, and I want to make this very clear, no Christian at Speaker's Corner do I regularly speak to, do speak about my politics. They are more clued up and they're more focusing on their own ministry and their own work, either privately working outside of this or working on their social media or their profiles. Go on.
Did Chris go to the United Kingdom process last time?
No. Okay. Even then, I have nothing to do with the UTK rally. I've made it very clear.
No, I understand. You're a bit extreme on the UTK.
Yeah, of course.
No, I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing to have millions of people, like-minded people outside on the street.
Creating an ethno state. But yeah, anyway, what was, let's go back to the point.
Yeah.
What do you define as a native person?
It's the ethnogenesis of this country, which is simply a mixture of different groups who have settled in this land.
So Anglo-Saxon, Celts,
Cornish,
Vikings,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay, so do you agree that the Anglo-Saxons themselves are a mixture of two ethnic groups?
Yes.
Yes.
That's why I said that like the way that countries settle is that generationally, settlers will come into a land and settle there.
Okay, so what is the, what distinguishes one merger of an ethnicity from another merger of an ethnicity, and what time periods of
their ancestry?
No, but I'm saying like the Anglo-Saxons.
You're asking me what's the difference between an apple and an orange.
No,
and then we can talk about how the orange is orange and how the apple is red.
No, I'm saying the Anglo-Saxons are a merger of the Anglo people and the Saxons, right?
Yeah. And then they settled here, and then the people that already settled in England, they breeded with each other, and they created a distinctive group of people, which is known in English, Scottish, Welsh, and Irish.
When migrants come from abroad, and then they intermarry with the Anglo-Saxon population.
Yeah, and my ancestors, and if we do have this mass, interracial mingling, right? I don't support cohorts of people. I don't support millions of people coming in because it's unfair for the millions of people coming in and also these people. If you're asking about interracial marriages, probably like 1% of the population, absolutely fine. If you love a white woman, what can I do about it? You love her.
No, but
Preferably do it at a Christian church.
I'm asking. So ethnicities that are not Anglo-Saxon, when they come to the UK and they intermarry with the Anglo-Saxon population,
their children will have a bit of Anglo-Saxon in them. And they'll have an admixture, like if a Pakistani. Yeah, they are native to this country.
They are native to this country. Okay. So mixed race children are native to this country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even people who hold to more extreme positions than me, like Steve Laws, for example, who I don't agree with, what he would say is they are. Yeah, I talk to anyone. I'm talking to you right now. I'm platforming you.
In a different vibe when you're talking to
I was asking.
Confrontational situation, whereas with Steve Laws, it's in a more backing.
I had a 3-hour discussion with him in which I pushed back on some of his points and accepted some of his points. The thing is, if the same way that Steve Laws treated me, you treated me currently, we'd have more of an amicable discussion right now. But so far, whenever I speak to you at Speaker's Corner, you try to create a narrative of someone whom I'm not. You try to intentionally deceptive.
Last time, he constantly, even this was an ambush. He came when I'm just minding my
Don't go to Speaker's Corner. Or don't speak to me behind my back.
Let's get back to
Do you think it's fair that if someone is spoken to behind their back, they have the right to, in your aims, ambush them? If I went around the block saying that Tay is Christophobic, do you have the right to say that?
Young Bob. You've gone around slandering me on camera.
I was going through a very personal situation the last time you ambushed me, and it was on a very personal topic. And you were
Then
not
say
willing
that.
to engage.
Then say that.
But you weren't, because you had
So you say you were in a Tay mourning period. Say you were in a Tay, you could have whispered it in my ear. And this is something you've only came up with months after this Soho time I've traumatised you. You've been traumatised by your own Bob.
You're talking about my manners. Where was the manners there? Where I constantly told you, Bob, if you're going to come up to me and engage with me, it's better to. Did I
speak about you behind your back?
Let's go back to the conversation.
Well done. Can I answer the question? Have I spoken about Tay behind other people's backs? Is that yes or no? Okay, because I don't do it.
Because I'm not throwing hits.
Because I may be a Nazi, but I'm at least I'm well-mannered. At least I'm well-mannered.
Okay, guys. I'm bad.
And now he speaks to the camera.
He's well-mannered, but he throws hits.
Okay. I actually, for the sake of the camera, I'll give this context, right? You asked me about, I think it was Father Calvin Robertson, someone who interviewed me, right? And you said, do you condemn him doing a Hitler salute? I said, no, it's not a Hitler salute. I wouldn't do it because it's a form of sarcastic terrorism. The strategy there is to do something that people on the left will say is a Nazi salute. Then you get the attention, you get the clip farms, you get the engagement, and then you can say it's not that, and the left are trying to vilify you. It's sarcastic terrorism, I don't agree with it, but it's certainly not a Nazi salute. And I did it to prove it's not a Nazi salute, wouldn't do it myself, but it's bad manners. Okay, and I find Muslims over here that don't like you, and you probably don't like them. What's the point?
Hang on. Okay. So let's get back to it. Okay. So mixed race people can be natives.
They are, yes.
They are natives. Okay, that's really
that's really and I gave you, as I was trying to say beforehand, even the more extreme people than me that don't like it, and I don't really have anything to say about it.
Sure.
You know, I personally have a white fiance.
But they have genetic issues.
No, that's okay. Each different group will have a different rate of having genetic issues. I stated on that live that some people give the argument from eugenics. I don't really care because there's a small percentage of population. And okay, because you notice how I gave a conjunctive at the start of the sentence. Because if you actually, the person who clipped it, who you're currently watching, tried to deplatform me by deceptively clipping 1-minute clips out of a 3-hour session. I know it's not, some random person on Twitter. It seems like you're such a fan that you can find someone who's a couple of thousand followers on Twitter talking about me.
This started when you called my friend a Somalian pirate. That's why.
Yeah, because he doxed me. He doxed me when I was homeless.
He did not dox you.
He did, yes, he did. He published my name, and I warned him. Okay, so then I give the joke that he's a Somali pirate. Do you know why I said he's a Somali pirate? He's Somalian and he pirates my information. He doxed me when I was a young kid, when I was homeless and quite vulnerable.
No, you weren't. You were
And I want you to agree to two things. Do you think it's okay for young people to be homeless, and do you think it's okay for Somalians to dox people?
Young people to be homeless. And no, he did not dox you.
He did. He doxed information that I did not want public. That is why I called him a Somali pirate. I gave him an ultimatum: delete the video. I'll call him a Somali pirate, and I'll take a picture of his face.
Okay, let's get back to the native situation, right? So if I intermarry with an Anglo-Saxon woman,
yeah, your children would be part Anglo-Saxon.
Would be native to this country.
Yeah, your children would be like part of the native people because they are part Anglo-Saxon. They're also part native to the country that you're from. And in fact, if you look at Restore Britain's policy, they're the only pro-remigration party that actually talk about marital visas into this country, and they accept them.
I've seen that. But I'm saying, okay, if my child turns out to be a Muslim, right? What is the situation there? Are they still native to this country?
I don't believe in banning ideas, right? So where you might see some sloppy Facebook posts about saying let's deport communists or Muslims, I don't believe in that. I think we should ban public practices of certain religious practices that are fundamentally un-British, but I don't believe in deporting people just simply because of ideas in their head. If an idea could fundamentally threaten the state of the country as it is, I preserve that state of the country and I'll deport those ideas.
Okay,
so yes, if you had a child who was part Anglo-Saxon, by the way, I don't just deport based on pure racial lines. I'm not like that. I'm not the Gestapo. I'm not going to go out and say, show us your DNA documents. There are other ways of deporting people who shouldn't have been here to begin with, and I blame mostly governments for accepting them.
Okay, so your idea is to create a hostile environment for ideas that...
No ideas. What I literally just said, I would deport people for ideas, but practices that are begotten from certain ideas that are un-British and fundamentally threaten the state of the country.
You would deport people for holding ideas. You want to get rid of ideas that cause damage to this country, right?
Practices that come from ideas, yes.
Through a hostile environment, right?
No, that would create a hostile environment for people who hold those ideas. Like if you're fucking your cousin, if you fucked your... Yeah?
Where's the man is now?
No, I said fuck your cousin. Okay. If you have smashed your cousin, that's an action. I would ban it. If you've got a problem with it, you can go.
Even though it happened in the Bible multiple times.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And also, if the Jews still do it, I have a problem with it as well.
Okay. So you want to preserve this country, right? You want to preserve this great green land, right? Yeah. Islam is an idea that helps the preservation of greenery in this country around the world.
Okay, so just because you're green, it means you're able to stay in the country, right?
Islam.
So you're saying because I like trees, you can stay into this country. Fantastic.
So, okay, you want to talk about preserving this great green land, right? Rupert Lowe and Restore Britain, they go around this country burning vast swathes of this land to shoot their little pheasants, right?
I don't think you actually burn land to do that. You just... farmers?
No, I'm not saying farmers. I'm saying people who shoot animals and practice animal hunting in this country. They have caused the degeneration of this country.
Well, by shooting small bats of foxes.
Hang on. They have caused this country to become one of the most environmentally depleted countries in the whole planet.
So let me get this right.
By burning vast swathes of forests in order to shoot animals. Rupert Lowe is one of those people. Rupert Lowe is one of those people that advocates for fox hunting, which is an abhorrent practice where they go out with hounds and chase down poor little foxes and rip them apart. So how are you preserving this land when you're advocating for these practices?
So first of all, I just want to quickly engage your point. Muslims who have practices that are un-British should be able to stay in this country because they don't fox hunt, meanwhile Rupert does, and a small portion of the top 10% shooting foxes has somehow completely contributed to the climate crisis. Is that your point?
I'm sure. Can I speak then?
No. Yes or no, and then I'll continue and answer your question. Okay. So this Tay's position is that because the top 5–10% of the population, the incredibly wealthy, who shoot foxes to somehow significantly contribute to the climate crisis.
They also burn vast swathes of this land, right, in order to hunt pheasants. Right?
Yeah, I personally, do you know what my position is? Do you know what my position is? Because Charlie Downs, the director of campaigning at Restore Britain, was asked that question.
Okay.
And fundamentally, because it's a party that's only existed for 4 months, and the policy papers haven't covered that, we haven't been able to speak about it and whether we would ban or allow for it, right? I don't think it should be allowed, or at least I wouldn't encourage a culture that would do it. Now, I'm sort of eco right-wing nationalist, right? I like green. I like greenery, but if you like greenery, doesn't mean that gives you an automatic right to stay in your country. It's fantastic. Fantastic. You like breathing in fresh air, and you like the green trees, and you flower the plants.
Ask him what a conservative is. I'm not going to interject him. Ask him what a conservative is.
Okay, so I'm trying to point out to the fact that you just want to run this country on like an authoritarian style. Because the fact is, you're talking about ideas that are contrary to this green and pleasant land. Right?
No, okay. When you say green and pleasant land, I'm talking about the country. I'm not just talking about the greenery.
Can I speak now?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to preserve this green and pleasant land, and you want to create a hostile environment for any ideas that are antithetical to this green and pleasant land. I give you a policy that his own party, the person he unanimously supports, Rupert Lowe, is advocating for burning vast swathes of this land for fox hunting, awful practice, and he's saying, I don't agree with that policy. So I'm trying to understand who sets the ideas of like, okay, this
Young
is
Bob. Look, you said you unanimously agree. Whenever I signed a contract saying I agree with every single policy of a political party.
You want to be you want to be the objective truth as to what
in politics. We're not talking about religion. If we're talking about religion, I could say, in the Bible it says this, therefore you have to believe in it and you can't disregard it. In politics, because I have no formal position in the party, and because I'm just a 17-year-old autistic child on the internet, I can say, you know what, I agree with this policy here because of X, Y, and Z, and justify why I believe that's true. And I don't just...
What are these ideas?
Well, you've asked me about greenery. Like, the thing is, right, and the reason why, whenever we speak with Tay, it's about an hour session, is because he goes to different points all the time. You started talking about an extreme that happened a few months ago to now talking about my green economic policy.
No, I just wanted to talk about the fact that you want to talk about preserving ideas that are native to this land, right?
Did you know when I said...
For you, ideas that are native to this land switch and turn at every position.
Do you think when I say that, it just means...
Ideas that are native to this land, one idea, I could argue, for example, that Orthodox Christianity is not native to this land. Because
it
this
is.
country has never been
Our English kings were Orthodox.
English kings were Orthodox.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the vast tradition of this country was
Yes,
Anglican.
the foundation, the kings that united the people of this country were Orthodox.
No, they weren't.
Yes, God anoints kings, yes.
No, they were not.
Which kings?
Which kings? Okay.
Which kings?
There's an Orthodox tradition in this country, and despite that, I've never claimed currently, in the current political climate, and mind you, I've never said I'm a Christian nationalist, I've never tried to take this sort of, find it. The point I was trying to make here, and this is why you keep dotting off different points, and maybe you could find one overarching point that we can finish off on, is that, look, I've never said my politics consists of forcing Christianity down people's throats. What I do at Speaker's Corner and when I have religious discussions is completely separate to when I talk about politics. And that's why I think it was sort of out of pocket to go out to someone who had no formal knowledge about what I do politically and say, this is what I've accused them of saying, condemn it, even though you haven't investigated it, or alternatively you don't, and I call you what I've accused the other person of without even talking about the person in question.
Okay. All I did was confront his partner in this talk.
He's not my partner.
He is.
I think I've only... Okay, I've literally... The only discussions I've had with Chris is on physically on camera.
Person. At certain points, you associate with people. When it catches you out, when it causes you issues, you jump.
Yeah.
No, it's because you're talking about different points.
He's lying.
When I speak, the issue is you start speaking and then he...
Sure.
I'm about 50 different group chats with people. I never speak on them.
The issue is, this person, he can't be pinned to a single position. He changes...
Because you're trying to... Because you're doing it guilty by association and it'll never work. You're saying because you've spoken to this person, it must mean you identically agree with all of their positions. Instead of asking me questions about my ideas, what you've done is said, you are friends with Chris, this is what Chris believes in. You agree with Rupert Lowe, you must agree with everything that Rupert Lowe says. Yes. I would ask you, do you agree with him on everything? And if you said no, I would have to investigate Tay's positions, not radical jihadist Mohammedans' position. That's what you're doing. You're saying, if I took a picture, okay, for example, right, okay, you're here, let's just say you're a far-right Nazi, right? I took a picture with you. You were right next to him. Must automatically mean that you agree with everything this man says. That's what you've been doing. That's what all you do at Speaker's Corner. Every single discussion I've had with you, every single discussion I've had with Tay has been guilty by association. For the past what, 6 months I've seen you off and on at Speaker's Corner, all you've done is guilty by association. Literally your common tactic.
Let me explain. Okay, so if there is an Islamic extremist in this park, and you go and confront me about having appeared in videos
I wouldn't do that.
supporting... You wouldn't.
If you supported him, yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
yes.
I'm saying if I supported him in any way, if it looked like I supported him in any way whatsoever, and you come to me and you say, do you want to disassociate from this person, right? I would say yes.
No,
and
okay.
I wouldn't be
but
going.
You're giving extreme. You're appealing to extremes,
Bro,
right? I disagree with Rupert Lowe because of fox hunting, not because he's blown up a
No,
mosque.
I'm talking about. Are you talking about Chris on?
Pardon? Yeah.
You're jumping. Okay, so with Chris at Speaker's Corner, I confronted him because he made a clip on me, which is very disingenuous, right? And it was about racism, right? It was about racism, where he was trying to clip me out of context about racism, right?
So instead of speaking about that, you've decided to speak about me.
I said, how can
so,
you...
So you've just said two wrongs make a right.
No, I said, how can you be coming here trying to mislabel me
by doing the same thing that he did to you?
You're part, but no, I didn't misrepresent you because the fact is, you threw a Nazi salute in my face.
I didn't.
You said these things.
Okay, what did I say? What was the explanation? What was the
explanation?
What was the explanation I gave towards the Nazi salute?
It was a Nazi salute.
Yeah. What was the explanation I gave you?
You threw it with an open hand.
No.
And then you said.
No. What was the explanation I gave to you?
The explanation.
Okay, I've said it to you 2 times throughout this discussion. What did I say? Because if you can't give it to me, you've not engaged. You're not engaged. You're dishonest.
He's just a dog whistler.
No.
He was dog whistling. He's smiling. He knows what he was doing.
No, it's just because you can't listen. You can't respond.
I got death threats from freaking far right.
Show it to me.
No.
Show me the death threats, and we can go to the police, and I can speak to the MPs I know, and I can say to them, look, deal with this.
Because of you.
I can speak to MPs, I can speak to councillors, I can speak to politicians, police officers, commentators, and we can investigate those claims, those death threats, and we can ensure that these people are publicly named and shamed. Show me those death threats. No, show it to me now, publicly. No, if they've said I'm going to kill you, let's show it publicly. Or you're a lying coward. Okay, are you a lying coward or are you going to show it to me? Show me the death threats that people made because I did a video on you, and we can sort out. I can speak to councillors, I can speak to MPs, I can speak to political commentators, people that can reach millions of people, but you're an absolute coward. You should be ashamed of yourself, Tay.
The fact of the matter is,
show me him.
I'm going to show my own cameras. I'm not going to show you.
No, okay. Do it on camera. No, do it on the Christian cameras here, so that Christians who are supposed to be the principles of peace can condemn it.
I'll turn my camera off to look at it if you want. I won't.
No, show it public on camera. If you received a death threat, you should be able to show it publicly.
Bob, you called me a wife beater. That really has pissed me off. Are you going to apologise?
No.
Oh, you're not. You're an arrogant prick. That's why.
That's because people.
You're an arrogant prick because you don't know what you're talking about. But it's about time you were exposed.
Can you show me death threats?
In these situations,
show me the death threats.
I
have not received. I've only received 1 death threat for 2 years of political.
So you're just slandering me, you little prick. You're slandering me. No, he's just called me a wife beater. No, I tell you what, if we were in the pub, I'd lay you out now.
You could try to.
I would lay you out now.
You could try to.
No, because you're an obnoxious little cunt. That's what you are. You're obnoxious little cunt. He's a cunt. You don't go round calling someone something without any evidence.
It's a European salute. We white people have been doing for thousands of years, and little fannies like you will never stop.
Is that a death threat, or is that just something that's been rude?
Listen. You know in YouTube,
so that's not
when there is death threats, they sometimes get deleted, right?
Because he publicly on camera called me a wife beater. That's why.
So far, no death threats.
Get out of it, Theo. If you are or not, that's he's a poxy little
I think the YouTube algorithm immediately banned them. So the fact that you're able to publicly see death threats.
Sometimes you do get a pop-up of them.
So you just regularly I love this idea that Tay is some sort of online, like chronically online, always constantly checks the internet. Immediately on the comments.
I've actually had a life where I've contributed far
I've
more
had a
to this
fantastic life
than you have, right?
I give a lot of tax.
1 year older than you, I was serving in the reserves, okay?
So he shouldn't be calling someone a white beater.
I won't, not so far. No, I won't.
You're not.
You don't know nothing.
Because you haven't started out.
You know nothing. You are a young kid. You should be showing respect to every elder here.
He knows
in order to help improve yourself.
Respect is reciprocal. I have elders in my church and who work with me in activism, and they are older than me. Like, this guy's old, I would never show him respect.
I'm going to get rid of him because it's really hard to have
Okay,
a conversation.
should I give respect to this man? No, other people have slandered you, and it's consistent with your life story. Okay, so like I said, find me the threats, I'll condemn them. But instead of that, what you've done it is slyly mentioning it.
Look, he's just a little. Okay, I'm just going to end the conversation here, right? The fact is, it's on evidence, it's on video.
If it's on camera, why have I been platformed on TV? Why have I been platformed on TV and other YouTube channels if I've done Hitler salutes publicly?
He said, talk like I am doing is the reason why Charlie Kirk died. You did say that, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Because you called me a fascist.
He's putting like my life in danger through comments
Prove
like that.
that. Prove it. Show me the threats and we can condemn it. We have the network to sort it out now. We'll get these people raided.
I'm just going to talk about what he's done and I'm going to go. Because this guy, he should not be platformed by any of you Christian channels.
But the Muslim channels are fine, right? Because they've got cameras here. But they're trying to. But why aren't they not exposing me? Wait, so it must mean that the only people that can. The only people. But so hold on. No. This actually proved a point, right? No. So you can platform people as long as they're exposing them, because the only group of people that would feel like are being exposed are the same people who agree with them.
You're a slanderer. The end of the matter is, he believes in a 95% white British country. He still hasn't given us any evidence of how that's going to occur. He started.
Can I keep on giving an answer to the question?
Whenever it suits him. The fact is, he is an extremist. He should not be platformed by big channels like GB News, Talk TV. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Write a letter.
A person like this.
Write a letter.
A person who throws a fascist salute in Speaker's Corner in front of everyone, and I tell him off
Write a letter.
how
Wasn't
this
Hitler
country
salute.
fought against that ideology. This person allies himself with people like Calvin Robinson, who threw a fascist salute. Allies himself with Steve
I don't
Laws,
think
who
Calvin
wants
really
free
likes
migration
me, to be
of all
honest
black
with
and
you.
brown people in this country. He allies himself with all these extreme people. He allies himself with this person, Anon Chud, who he hosted a platform with, co-hosted with, and that person, Anon Chud, you're a person of an ethnic minority. Anon Chud said he wants to legally make it legal to kill all brown and black people in this country. He said that on his channel. On his channel.
Not what he said.
When he was co-hosting. And what did he do? He laughed about it and he said some of us have we have a bigger platform than you.
Okay.
So the fact of the matter is, this guy is an extremist. This guy believes mixed race people have genetic issues. He believes in everything I just told you. He's wishy-washy in his position because he wants the Christian nationalist support here. But the fact of the matter is, this person should not be platformed.
Okay, fantastic. So I want to respond to his point. The first thing is that the expose won't even film the responses like the cowards they are. The second thing is,
you can't even answer what a conservative is.
The second thing,
you jacked up little fascist.
The second thing is that you notice how he said the Christians shouldn't film him, but the Muslim crowd just don't say anything.
You encourage Islam.
So the Muslims can film me because they know that their demographic will always hate me. So it doesn't matter what happens, doesn't matter what video it is, they always hate me. The second thing is that Anon Chud account was an anonymous account, right? And the point that he was making was that hate speech laws are so undefined in this country that you can say, I want to kill all black people, that's a hate crime. That's speech leading to violence. But if I say, hypothetically, and he wasn't agreeing with it, that you should make it illegal to be black and it can cause the death penalty, that's not illegal. So the point is that the hate speech laws in this country are arbitrarily defined in such a way that we have positions where people are arrested for praying in their head outside an abortion clinic, for example. The second point that he was trying to make is that right-wing populism is moving at an unprecedented rate in such a way that if we don't control migration, if we don't get to a stable state in this country, people will begin to hold to genuinely extreme positions. Now, the thing that Tay does, and this is going to be, I don't know what, nearly half an hour, 45-minute discussion, is he brings different points. So far, we've spoken about the live stream that happened months ago, and there were some elements of that live stream that people joined and said things that I condemned. Then he went to my migration policy, then he went to my membership of different political parties, then he went to Chris's Speaker's Corner, then he went to Pastor Richard Doolan, then he went to the Green Party. He can't find himself one argument where he can actually win or have a substance discussion. Then towards the end, like an incompetent, insecure man, he comes up to me, he says, I demand respect because I'm your elder and I was part of the reserves. Thank you for the service to this country, very admirable, but it's very much prudent of you that your experience in the armed forces has not at all taught you any restraint any piety and any manners. And the thing is, I don't really want to have this discussion at Speaker's Corner. It muddies the waters when it comes to Christians who want videos about Christianity, and it's not something I'm here to speak about at Speaker's Corner. But if Tay wants to smear me in a campaign with other evangelists who have nothing to do with what I do politically, I barely speak to Bob, barely speak to Chris, barely speak to David outside of Speaker's Corner. They don't know where I am. It's for Soko as well. You guys film me about Christianity. You guys don't know what I'm doing outside the park. So for them to say, this is what he's doing, but it doesn't take time to investigate it, they don't want to condemn someone they probably like and quite cheerful about, it's completely dishonest. And the fact he's allying himself with James, the guy who keeps on trying to fight people, and Jono, somebody who's clearly miserable and hates everyone, is quite telling. But anyways, I want to clarify my position. So first of all, unlike what Tay said, I'm not going to knock on the door like the Gestapo and say if you've got a percentage of DNA native to this country, you're getting deported. It's not what I believe in. Many of the people in this country at Speaker's Corner I'd probably want in this country. The thing is, migrants who are here for good reason, on high school visas for example, or fighting the good fight, are currently being undermined by the millions of people who shouldn't be here. And because we have that situation, we sometimes don't mention these individuals and we speak to people as if they were categories because migration is at an unprecedented level. Never had democratic consent to bring in millions of people. In fact, I would argue, if you want a prevailing Christian faith in this country, what you don't do is import people who don't agree with you, especially on a moral level. That's why, especially in the early 2010s at Speaker's Corner, a lot of this content was politically coded because we're talking about why Muslims in this country believe in child marriage.
Bob, can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Would it make sense to do some research into what the policies are right now as far as admitting immigrants? Because right now we're making a blanket comment about immigrants coming in. But one thing we haven't done is investigate what questions are they asked, what criteria do they use?
Great example, right?
Yeah.
So asylum seekers, about 40,000 last year, which was about the number that we were promised in net migration. So we're talking about 40,000 people who shouldn't be here and should make up the entire total sum of migrants in this country. When they come here, mostly through boats and lorries, or if their visa overstays or try to claim asylum, and they don't have documents, it would be social care workers that are set to ask them questions and give them temporary documents. Then they apply to their embassy, and most of the time the embassy, because they get thousands of requests, give you fake information. And I can only really speak to anecdotally on the level. Surprisingly, when I was doing a bit of independent journalism, I was speaking to taxi cab drivers, and they were being frustrated. If you're a taxi cab driver, you need, for a check to receive your license, all of your information since the day you turn 18. If you're a migrant and you don't have sufficient documents from your country, because a lot of these people are in theory in data collection, it's only the last 5 years, and it's information that you apply to your embassy. If your embassy doesn't give you sufficient information, it's just taken for granted.
Wouldn't it make sense to try to fight to really look under a fine-tooth comb at the criteria by which they let people in, and do something to make more bulletproof, to tighten that criteria? Wouldn't that make sense rather than just a blanket say no migrants at all? So many of the arguments you hear down at Speaker's Corner are very binary. They're very good versus evil, black versus white. But there's a lot of detail that are people.
So I agree with you, and it's the natural position of people who are put in countries that are under managed decline. Populism rises when your country is declining. Well, if you feel like you've lost your country, you're going to be in a very bad state, right? So we can't blame people for thinking that way. Now, what I would say is that if you do that, you're already restricting migration. If there are thousands of migrants that are in fact here with a lack of information, if there are migrants that are here, there are thousands and thousands of migrants here that are here because we don't have a sound criteria, then surely if we increase the standards, we'd decrease the amount of migrants. So we're sort of speaking about the same level here.
So I think there needs to be an analysis of the process by which they're making decisions now. Here's also something really interesting to take into consideration. Psychologists have a principle. I don't know what this word is, yeah? But when immigration, new immigration as opposed to old immigration, when new immigration reaches a percentage point of between, I believe it's between 10 and 20%, yeah? Like clockwork, the native population will rebel and they will get angry, yeah? So seeing as we know that this is a principle, what we need to look at is instead of saying, oh, you know, too many migrants, let's look instead. Now, Singapore did something fairly radical. What Singapore said is the percentage of migrants in any given area can't be too high.
I agree with you. That's what I said. That's what I said with Tay. I said to Tay that regionally, it's not just nationally. You focus regionally, right? Right wingers will always give examples of areas like Birmingham.
Exactly.
It's not like people mostly live on a communal level, right? Like your national policy when you've noticed your village or town centre deals with those problems. So I agree with you. And anyways, I'm exhausted. Probably a long discussion. I never actually I never really asked your name, by the way. Meg, thank you. Right, I'm gonna head off. Sorry if this is a controversial discussion. God bless you all. Please sort out these microphones. I don't know who they are. Thank you very much. You've got hands I can have.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yes, the old boy's gone. Is he? Yeah. Whose bag is that? Huh?
When AP was there, right? When he debated or not? He was just talking there when I came. One debate anyway. The guy getting annoyed. One debate, right? You're supposed to be like anywhere else. No, he didn't debate it. He didn't debate it? Oh.
Hey guys, so what's going on over here? Hit the like, share the link code. I think Big Dave's there. Sorry, brother. Hey guys, we're gonna move into it's gonna be a combo between Arul and a Catholic brother. And they're going to be debating, or they are already debating, the priesthood. the priesthood, yeah. So don't worry if you obviously missed the beginning of this. We'll make this public like always. Later on, ski. So let me just put this in. Make sure you like the link. Like the live stream family. Don't be lazy. Here we go.
Something like the Lord's Supper or the Eucharist is a sacrament is by the by. You know, it's we as the Roman Catholics and also many of the Christian churches, including a lot of Protestant churches, acknowledge things like the Lord's Supper, like baptism, as sacraments, and they are administered by priests and ministers. They are not administered by Joe Blogs on the street. That is the important bit. So the part that the keys is important. So you have to look at the significance of them. Anyway, now to go to the apostles themselves, if you like, more exercising this priesthood somewhat. In Acts 1, when they are discussing about replacing Judas, to take the place in this ministry and apostleship from which Judas turned aside to go into his own place. And they cast their lots for them and fell on Matthias, and as they enrolled him with the 11 apostles. So in other words, they filled the office of Judas. So their number was back up to 12. They didn't have to fill up this office, but they did because the office is open. That's a form of apostolic succession, bringing the next generation in. How long have I got? 20 seconds. And so yes, the point is, the rule is, yes, a priest sacrifices, but also you've got to consider, where does the authority come from? That's really key as well, and ironically. And so you have to acknowledge that these keys that were given to Peter and that were given to the other apostles as well, that is where it all stems from. And just as a last parting comment, it is not the Levitical priesthood, it is the priesthood of Melchizedek that counts.
That's the one.
Sorry, can I ask?
Sorry, Brent.
No problem.
Let's get excited, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Go.
Yeah. You see, Sam went through all sorts of things. The one thing he didn't go through was to establish how there is a priestly order in the new covenant. That he did not do. Note carefully, he spoke about prime minister. Although I disagree with that particular detail he brought up, it's still a prime minister, not a priest. He went through the details of apostles. I completely understand there are apostles. Even though I disagree on the idea of apostolic succession, I completely understand there are apostles. But that has nothing to do with priests. He went through the idea of how Judas was replaced. Look, even if I disagree, that is irrelevant. I am trying to find out if there are equivalents of Levitical priests in the New Testament, because who I see, the funny clothed people in the Roman Catholic order, I see them to be proper daylight robbers. And so I'm trying to find out if their role is legitimate. And that is where I'd like at least one reference to how there is a New Testament special priestly order in the New Testament. Let me read the verse carefully again. Hebrews chapter 8, verse 4, it says about Jesus, even Jesus, who is the actual Melchizedekan priest. It says, if he were on earth, he would not be a priest. Why? Since there are priests who offer the gifts according to the law. In other words, according to the Bible, the distinction is clear. On earth, you only have Levitical priesthood of the law, the Torah. The kingdom of heaven is not of this world. It transcends and it begins there. And in this, Jesus is the high priest there, no priest here.
Should I? Yeah. Cool. So, I actually want him to stop with the comparisons with the Levitical priesthood. That's completely irrelevant, and here's why. Because the priesthood of the New Testament is the priesthood of Melchizedek. As it says in Hebrews 7, this becomes even more evident that when another priest arises in the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become a priest, not according to a legal requirement concerning bodily descent, but by the power of indestructible life. So the priesthood of the New Testament is Melchizedek. Because what did Melchizedek offer? Bread and wine. That is why it is Melchizedek, not the Levitical priesthood. The Levitical priesthood offered blood sacrifices. The Levitical priesthood offers the offering of bread and wine. So that's the key part you have to stick to. I don't have to show that it's the Levitical priesthood, just the priesthood of Melchizedek. Because what we are offering up at Mass every Sunday as Catholics and also as Orthodox and even as lots of Protestants, we are offering up bread and wine to the Father in the name of Jesus Christ. That is what we are doing. We are not slaughtering goats, we are not slaughtering sheep, and so that is the premise on which we have to start. Anyway, so now also, in regards to this idea more of apostolic succession, it's in 2 Timothy, where Timothy is instructed to lay his hands upon people that he deems worthy to succeed him. Now, why is that important? Because he's also told that these men should be worthy men. They can't be Joe Bloggs off the street. They can't be anyone just in the church. They have to be people deemed fit of the office. They have to be people perfect for the office. And because what does a priest have to do? A priest has to offer the sacrifice of the Mass. He has to hear confessions. He has to marry people. He has to give last rites. He has a lot of things, basically. But the point is this. Without the succession, you don't have the priesthood. And it goes back to the apostles. Perfect? Say when.
Yep.
Go.
Sam, maybe I'll speak to you directly right now.
Yeah, of course.
Because what you have forgotten to do is this.
Can I just
offer.
Can I just do this? Sorry.
Say again.
Sorry, I'll pause your time. You have 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds.
No, maybe I'll start again. Yeah?
Yeah, start again.
Okay.
Just to be
Yeah,
fair. Just to be fair.
Sure.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. Are there apostles in the New Testament? There are. Are there other offices in the New Testament? There are. Teachers, deacons, all sorts of offices exist in the New Testament. Is there some level of succession in some of these offices? There could be, that I'm not even discussing right now. Is Jesus a Melchizedekan priest? Yes, he is. I am now particularly focused on whether, apart from Jesus, there are other priests in the New Testament. And there, you pointed out to Hebrews chapter 7, where you said Jesus is a priest in the order of Melchizedek. But what you forgot to understand is that it is only Jesus who is the priest of the order of Melchizedek, the one without a beginning, without an end. No one else. Not the funny fellow sitting in Rome, Vatican, or anywhere else. Only Jesus. And it goes on to say that this priest represents a supreme, a better covenant to an extent. He cannot continue offering the same stuff. He doesn't have to. Let me read to you. So Hebrews chapter 7, verses 26 and 27. For such a high priest was fitting for us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and has become higher than heavens, who does not need daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifices. According to this priestly order, there is no daily offerings. There is not even a repeat of offerings. To offer up sacrifices, first for his own sins and then for the people's. For this he did once. The Melchizedekan priesthood of the New Testament offers once. And he did that 2,000 years ago. Any fellow who is claiming he's making an offering right now is a scammer. Wake up. So how many more rounds did you want to go? Couple more?
Couple more?
Sure.
So I got someone to think of. I got a... go back. So should we make this, say, I don't know, should we do one more, as in one more each of 2 minutes, and then do one of 3, which is like our closing statements? Yeah, do you want to do that?
Sure.
Cool, that sounds good. That sounds good. So this will be my last 2 minutes. So
your last 2, and did you want to do one more round of 2 or not?
Oh no, one more round of 2. Yeah, sorry, mate.
So
sorry, mate.
You do one round of 2, and then we'll do one more round of 2. Yeah.
Yep, sounds good.
Because I started.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Should I start?
Yeah, good. Right. So in Hebrews 7, he is right that it speaks mainly of Christ as the high priest of Melchizedek. He's not wrong about that. However, it does speak of other people too. So in verse 20, for example, it says, "And it was not without any oath, and those who formerly became priests took their office, without an oath, but this one who addressed with an oath. The Lord has sworn that he will not change his mind. Thou art a priest forever. This makes Jesus surely a better covenant. The former priests were mainly in number because they were prevented by death and from counting in office, but he holds his priesthood permanently because he continues forever. There is reference here to priests themselves, not just Jesus himself. Jesus is the ultimate high priest. And actually in Catholic theology, we call it in persona Christi. So and that means in the person of Christ. So when the priest is saying the words, hoc est eum corpus meum, this is my body, it is not the priest saying those words. It is Christ saying those words because Christ is the ultimate high priest. The priest does not get sacerdotal powers simply based on the fact he was ordained. He gets those sacramental powers because the ultimate high priest is Jesus. So like I say, to repeat one more time, when the priest says the words, this is my body, the priest is not saying those words. Christ is saying those words through the priest, in persona Christi. It's a really important part of Catholic theology. We do not believe that the priest has special powers in himself. He only contains those powers because of Jesus. You can go. That was a good point to end on, so you can have it, Earl. So yeah, that was
one more round of 2 minutes, and then we do conclusion. Yes, Sam.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Sure.
Go.
Sam did many things, but the one thing which he failed to do is the only thing which he was supposed to do, which is the debate topic. Are there special priests? Sam said in Hebrews chapter 7, apart from Melchizedek, there are other priests referred to. Yes, there are. But they are referring to the Old Testament priests. Now, I'm assuming Sam thinks that they are the priests that he has, which are the Old Testament priests. So I can completely understand if he is thinking Roman Catholicism is some sort of an Old Testament order, well, maybe he is terribly confused in a different way. But in the New Testament, apart from Jesus, there is no other priest. The one thing he failed to do right through our conversation is to provide evidence for a special priestly order in the New Testament. What did he do? He spoke about apostles. I agree with the apostles, office of apostles. He spoke about how Judas was replaced. No problem at all. He spoke about other offices like deacons and so on. No problem. He spoke about some funny keys. I don't know what he spoke about. Prime Minister, all sorts of things. What he failed to speak about is whether, number one, there is an office who can offer sacrifices in the New Testament beyond what Jesus did on the cross. About that, in Hebrews chapter 7 said, Jesus offered once, there is no further sacrifice, there is no need for any more sacrifice. I mentioned that. And I also read to you Hebrews chapter 8, verse 4, and I said, because Jesus has come for the kingdom of heaven, the priest for the kingdom of heaven is he himself alone, and he is in heaven where there is a most holy place. Whoever claims to be a priest here, including the Pope, is a scammer. Don't fall for this lie.
3 minutes conclusion.
3 minutes, yeah?
Conclusion?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry.
No,
You
it's
still
2 minutes.
have
No,
one.
it's 2 more. Sorry, it's 1 more. 2 minutes, isn't it?
Apologies. Yes, just sorry. Apologies. Yeah.
This has been good fun, by the way.
You're last. Absolutely. Should I start?
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so he's saying that I have to show sacrifices in regards to the Old Testament. He keeps drawing back to the Old Testament. This is the New Covenant. So, what is being offered in the New Covenant? Bread and wine. This is the sacrifice. And in particular, not just the bread and wine. What is being offered? It is Christ himself being offered to the Father in an unbloody manner. That is exactly what it is. Now, a rule will say, well, where do you get that from? Something like 1 Corinthians 10. This cup of blessing which we bless, it is not a participation in the blood of Christ. The bread which we break, it is not a participation in the body of Christ. Because there is one bread of which many are one body, and there is one partake of one body. Consider the people of Israel, that not those who eat the sacrifices are partners in the altar. Who do not imply then the food offered is idols or anything, or the idols of anything. No, I imply that when pagans sacrifice, they offer demons and not to God. I do not want you to be the partners of demons. You cannot drink of the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. You cannot partake in the table of the Lord and the table of demons. Now, why is that important? Why? Because Christ's presence is really there. In the bread and the wine, Christ's presence is there. Now, I don't have to be a Catholic to believe this. The Lutherans believe this. The Reformed believe this. The Orthodox believe this. The Orientals believe this. The Assyrians believe this. We might have all different conclusions on how we get there, but we all believe that Christ is genuinely present in the elements and that it is offered up as a sacrifice in some description. Now, Catholics would say specifically that it's a perpetual sacrifice offered up to the Father. Protestants would disagree on that, but they would still say that it is offered up as a sacrifice in some sense.
Done?
Yep. So it's your 3 minutes to
conclude. Yeah.
Conclude, yeah, now, mate.
Okay, so we're now doing a 3 minutes conclusion.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
3 minutes conclusion.
He's going to go first.
I'm going to. Yeah.
Why no Q&A?
We can after this maybe we can ask
if you want to. If you want to.
Before conclusion.
No. Cross examination.
But you want to do a cross?
Do conclusion first. Oh no. Cross examination. Yeah. Cross examination. Maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes each. Sounds good to me.
Okay, 3 minutes each, and then we'll do 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds or something. Yeah? What do you think?
1 round, I'd say. I just got this one to think about. That's
okay,
all.
Okay, sure.
That's all.
Sure.
So
sorry,
one round.
Sorry about that. We stole. Okay, cool. So 3 minutes.
And then we'll do conclusions after that, though, because I think we do deserve a conclusion each. That's only fair.
Okay, cool.
So do you want to cross-examine me first, or how do you want to play this?
Because I spoke first. I presented my points first. You cross-examine me first.
So you want me to cross-examine you first?
Yeah.
Okay. You hold that then.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll cross-examine a rule first, then you'll cross-examine me. Okay, cool. So, a rule. Let's start with the keys. You keep sort of fobbing them off. Why are you fobbing off the keys? Because in the Old Testament, it's clearly stated in Isaiah that the keys are given to the prime minister of the kingdom. Now, the prime minister is the one below the king. So if you like, the imagery of this is you've got the apostles, who are the prime ministers, if you like. They're not literally the prime ministers, it's more like a typology. But they are the prime ministers because Christ is the king. So why do you keep fobbing that sort of thing off in terms of, because this is the moment when they are given this promise, because it is a promise, they'll be given the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Why are you fobbing this one off like it doesn't matter? Like, what is your interpretation of those keys?
Sure. So here is where you have fundamentally misunderstood the Old Testament. You know, in the Old Testament, there is a princely order, princes, kings and princes. There is a priestly order. There are 2 different orders apart from prophetic order. 3 separate orders of leadership apart from the elders. The king and the princes are not the priests.
But do you recognize, though, that it was the prime ministers who were given the power to loose and bind? Interestingly, not the king. Because it's the imagery of the king is overseeing, the king is in charge, but it's these prime ministers who actually enact the justice.
But the entire topic was not whether there are prime ministers. I'm not even commenting on the point you're making right now. I am merely citing or saying to you, priests is the topic at hand.
Okay, so
is there a priestly order? And when it comes to the priestly order,
so
you ask me why do I fob? Very simply because the Levitical priests or the Aaronic priests have nothing to do with the princely order, and therefore you are fundamentally mistaken.
Not quite, but anyway, let's go back because it's only 3 minutes. Let's go quickly to the manner of the sacrifice, because you've kept comparing the apostles and priests to Levitical priests, whereas I'm saying Melchizedek, because the offering is bread and wine. Okay, so why compare? Let's put it like this. Would you not say that the Eucharist, when offered, in some sense is a sacrifice, even in your worldview? You read 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Yes. How can you profane something that isn't there?
1 Corinthians chapter 11, Jesus goes on, and Apostle
you mean
Paul.
St. Paul?
St. Paul goes on to say, in the night Jesus was betrayed. He took the bread and wine, whatever, and then he went on to say, please do this in remembrance of me. Now, here is where
But how can you profane a symbol?
If you want us to discuss, about real presence or whatever, that will be a different
Just
topic.
to check, I'm not going over, am I?
No, that'll be a different topic. All that I'm saying, in relation to priests, you haven't presented a case, unfortunately, and that was the only topic of discussion today.
Right.
Timer.
Time for me to get grilled.
What is your best case for a reference to a priestly order in the New Testament?
You are a priest in the order of Melchizedek forever. So, because that's not just talking about Christ. That is talking about the priests as well.
So that's your best case. Now, help me understand. Where do you get the idea that is speaking about others apart from Jesus also?
Because interestingly, it talks about the priests, and it also goes into plural sometimes. Like, it's interesting. Hebrews 7 is rather interesting. It's in singular and sometimes in plural. So when it's in plural, it's making reference to other people other than Jesus.
We both understand Melchizedek is one person, and Melchizedek is this unique person with no beginning, no end. Very unique. And that is how he is compared. Now, we also understand in Psalm 110 how there is the Melchizedekan priest sitting at the right hand of God, and how they even swap sides and so on. My question to you is, there is no one else there apart from Jesus. Where do you get the weird idea that there is someone else apart from Jesus there?
Because of the reference in Hebrews of there being priests and them being in the order of Melchizedek. Because in the Old Testament, really the only pure references we get to priests are the tribe of Levi, not so much Melchizedek. Melchizedek is in Genesis, and then after that he's not really heard of after. So it's interesting.
So Melchizedek is a special priest. That is Jesus. In relation to, you said Hebrews chapter 7, I see references to the Old Testament priests and Jesus, who is in the New Testament. I don't see any reference to some other people who are priests in the New Testament apart from Jesus as part of the Melchizedekan order. I don't see that there. I don't know where you find that here.
It says, it's like, for example, in verse 18, isn't it? Yeah. For on the one hand, there is an annulling of the former. I don't like this wording. Because of its weakness and unprofitability. Can you read it? Sorry, my dyslexia is kicking in.
No problem.
Dyslexia is kicking in.
For the law made nothing perfect. On the other hand, there is the bringing in of a better hope, through which we draw near to God. And inasmuch as he was not made priest without an oath, for they have become priests without an oath, but he with an oath by him who said to him, the Lord is sworn and will. So I completely understand. Jesus was sworn in. Where do you see anyone else is my question.
It's the reference to the other priests here, the priests without an oath.
It's comparing, in Hebrews, they are comparing Jesus with the Old Testament priests. And the entire point they are making is only Jesus here.
Right, so 3 minute... 3 minute
3 minute
closes.
conclusion.
You go. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I go first.
So 3, 2,
Lovely.
1. Oh, you don't have to use all 3 minutes if you don't want to.
Yeah. Sorry, okay. Maybe I'm starting.
That's all right. I'm just saying, you don't have
all
to
right.
use all. Go.
Dear friends, there have been plenty of issues because of Roman Catholicism. Even today, there are abominable practices because of Roman Catholicism. Queen of Heaven, idols, speaking to the dead, all sorts of abominable things in the times past. Slavery. There were edicts, bulls issued for, taking over slaves. There were bulls issued for taking over colonialism. All sorts of evil that have happened. And of course, we hear in Ireland how children have been destroyed. Pedophilia, big time sexual immorality in the Roman Catholic institution. And that is why what we are dealing with right now is a very important topic. I see the entire Roman Catholic order to be proper scammers, big time. One of the worst financial scams in world history, not just from Islam, but from Roman Catholicism.
The properties they swindle all over the world. Phenomenal. And what they do in terms of selecting some fellow, smoke and nonsense. Utterly, remarkable. Nothing to do with Jesus. And that is where I asked a very simple question. Is there a special priestly order in the church? Thankfully for us, we find in the New Testament there is no such special priestly order. Sam struggled big time. Remember, he spoke about prime minister, he spoke about apostles, he even spoke about Judas's replacement. What he failed to speak, he spoke about some fancy keys or whatnot. I don't know which locks he was talking about. The one thing he failed to speak about is a special priestly order in the New Testament. That he failed to speak about. No evidence for that. And he was grasping at straws when he was referring to priests referred to in the book of Hebrews. My dear Roman Catholic friends, wake up before it is too late. Worship God, the triune alone. No hyperdulia of Mary. Don't sell your souls. Queen of Heaven worship cost precious souls in the Old Testament times also. Don't sell your souls. There are plenty of Jews who look at this and think, well, this can't be true, and they are right. Because Roman Catholicism is not consistent with the Hebrew scriptures. It is entirely right. And so, if you want to understand, Quran is inconsistent with the Old Testament, and therefore we reject the Quran. And New Testament, and therefore we reject the Quran. So is Roman Catholicism. A big time scam. Get away. It's a criminal mafia network. Stay away from it. Come to Jesus. Surrender your lives before the triune God. No hyperdulia, Queen of Mary business. Thank you very much.
Say when?
Ah, yes, sir.
First, I just want to say cheers for Raul for letting me do this today, actually. So, thanks, man. Cheers. Right. You said how, I've really struggled to find a case for the priesthood. I guess maybe that's because, in some sense, sticking to the New Testament completely, you won't find the fullness of the Catholic priesthood in there. But that is for a very specific reason. Matthew 16 quite clearly said how Jesus established a church upon the apostles, and we find this church in history. Saint Irenaeus, writing in the 200s, talks and says, if you cannot trace your church back to the apostles, you do not have a church. Saint Ignatius of Antioch says, wherever the bishop is, there is Christ. If you have no bishop, you have no church. And also you have people like Saint Athanasius saying, those who read the scriptures to their own visions have their own condemnation. Those who read the scriptures without the testament of the church are heretics. Now, we got to look at history as well. Christianity is not purely contained to the Bible. It's not purely there in the sense of all of our history. I am part of the church that wrote the great creeds, that wrote the great confessions, that held the ecumenical councils, and all the theology that I know Raul believes in the Trinity, in the hypostatic union, in the two wills of Christ, the two energies of Christ. All that stuff is contained within the councils of the church. The stuff I know he believes, because he has to. And the point is this: when you look at the history of the church, there was a priesthood established from the very early days, from the days of Polycarp, from the days of Ignatius, from the days of Clement, and you have to question why. And it's because in the New Testament there is a church established upon the apostles by Jesus, and they are given sacrificial powers. It's obvious as well when you read something like 1 Corinthians, when they are offering up a sacrifice when they're offering up the sacrifice of bread and wine. And so all I would ask is, whether you are Catholic, whether you are Protestant, whether you are Orthodox, just remember one thing. We are all looking to strive and serve the Lord in our own different ways, like I even know that a rule is, something I'll never take away from him. And it's important for all of us to understand each other's positions. I just hope today, at least, he doesn't look at me as part of some mafia, and actually part of some church.
That was my conclusion. I don't know what is changing my conclusion.
And so hopefully, I hope one day I can change his mind, God willing. Thanks, Raul. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Sam, lovely to see you. God's
Acquaintance. We disagree, and I'm going to still insist he didn't provide any evidence for the priestly order.
I still love him though.
But we still love each other. God's blessings. Thank you, Sam. Lovely to see you.
Can I just... Do you know where JC is?
No. You want me to hold? You're in a rush. She's upset, is she? How do you
Oh, there's JC. There's JC.
If you're Roman Catholics who are watching, I warn you, we are dealing with...
we love Arul, but yeah, man, he's a bit misinformed, so pray for him. Anyway.
Okay, so apparently, I'm guessing you want some sort of a wrap up. Is that right? You want some sort of a wrap up, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so my main reason for doing this is Arul has spoken out very harshly against Roman Catholics and against the Orthodox, and to be honest, really anyone he kind of disagrees with in regards to Christianity. I more just wanted to make him understand. For me, this wasn't about sectarianism. It wasn't really about that. It wasn't really about I'm right because I'm a Catholic. It's nothing really to do with that. It's just I was hoping that maybe to get him to understand the position of the priesthood in the Catholic Church a bit better, really, because in my time recently, you reflect on Christianity, and you reflect on the great saints of the Catholic Church. You reflect on the great saints of the Orthodox Church, and you even reflect on some of the great Protestants. And one thing you can't deny is that God was working in them somehow. It's like St. Francis of Assisi, one of the greatest saints God ever created. But then likewise, you have the Wesley brothers, John and Charles. All Christians, without realizing it, have sung a Wesley hymn at some point in their lives. And Charles Wesley. Charles Wesley. Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Everyone has sung that at some point in their lives. So the point is, my simple point is this. God's Spirit's clearly working through all of these churches in some capacity. And the better that we all understand each other, I'm not personally an ecumenicalist, but we can at least understand each other, and we can at least have some common ground and some solidarity. That's all I wanted with Arul. I just wanted him to get off his mafia script and just stop calling us Catholic scammers and all that stuff, because I've heard it all before. So that's all I wanted. That was all I was aiming for. All I want to say is, God bless you all, and may the Holy Mother of God pray for you.
Yeah, family. Ultimately, we don't want to come across like we are dividing the body of Christ or anything like that. We just want to basically give you receipts, give you information, so you go look into it, make your own decision, make an informed decision, and then decide whether you want to remain Protestant, Orthodox, or Catholic. But we are not asking anyone to become a Catholic. We just want to equip the family in case you get asked a question against Catholicism. So instead of saying, "Oh, you bunch of heretics, go away, you're going to hell," you have a biblical answer, to any questions on Catholicism. So I think this is it, family. I think there's something happening right now. Hey, brother, how are you? Okay? Yeah, bless. Yeah, Bob, say. So, yeah, so that's. So please don't take this debate as I'm trying to somehow get Arul, expose Arul or anything like that. That's not the intention. Yeah, it's all about information, it's about learning, and it's about being equipped ultimately, right? So that's it. That's it. So.
Jesus. God, now JC is back. I said, come to Jesus. Leave Roman Catholicism. He's back. A good sign. JC.
We love Arul. We love Arul. We love Arul. We love Arul. So. Yes.
So this is how we conduct ourselves. As people who appreciate the Bible, appreciate Jesus, we should be able to have respectable conversations. Conversations. Whilst we respect and value the human beings who have not come to kill us today, yet get to the bottom of our areas of disagreement.
Yes.
Now let's go and deal with some Muslims. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you much. Thank you. God bless you.
Praise the Lord. Yeah. Make sure you support Arul. No, all you guys support the family. We're not here to divide the body of Christ. We're not sectarians. We're not, you know what I'm saying? We're not blood fire away me. Abdullah, yeah, Abdullah. Yeah, it's family. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hey, check out Street Mike's new setup. Look at that. My man's going Hollywood. I think he's going Hollywood. Pilch. There you go. Okay, family, we might sign out. Alright, cool.
How you been?
Alright, family. Oh, okay. Let's see what Abdullah has to say. Abdullah the butcher. Sorry, bro.
Cannot be the Islamic Allah. Do we both agree on this?
Sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. No.
He's an idiot. He's a shit guy. Let's cover their faces. With hoodies on.
He changed.
With the masks on.
Just
in case the police show the faces a little bit. Look at the cowardice there on display. And they are come here and look at him. Especially this gentleman. I am 5'6".
5'6"?
Look at him. He's maybe 10 foot. Like a Goliath. And look at the cowardice in display. This is what Islam has done to human beings.
Dawa Dash, ladies and jellystones. Yeah, give us Dawa. Hay fever. Hay fever.
Doesn't seem like he has hay fever. It seems like he is hay fever right now.
Yeah, go.
With the mask on, who knows? Even if you take and run away, I won't even know who to complain against. Help us understand.
Why? Please help us understand. So you are Muslims.
First of all, my brother.
Sure. Help me understand. Help me gain immigration. Please help me. Please come. Okay. So help us understand what one good thing you have learned from the Islamic Allah, please.
I can't even understand you. What language are you speaking? What language are you speaking?
Islamic Allah, one good thing that you've learned from him.
You're just a shit guy.
Why do Muslims come to speak as corner and hide? Are these your friends?
You're a turd, man.
Are you ashamed of them?
You haven't got no socks on, you turd.
Hey, whoa. Keep distance.
Keep distance. You're a turd, man. Look at you.
There is your friends. You are at least honorable.
My mouth stinks.
Sure. Let me speak to him. Please come.
Because your breath stinks.
Thank you.
You stink.
Thank you very much. I'll give you an advice. Sure. Yeah, I stink. Now you can maybe move away. That'll be nice. To you, sir. These gentlemen, please don't be friends with these guys. To you, sir. No, yeah. So help me understand what is good in Islam.
I'm not here to talk. I'm here to listen.
But you see what has happened here? These guys.
Point at me. Don't be rude.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah.
Shut up, man. Shut your mouth, man.
Exactly.
What's the comment?
Why exactly have you come to Speaker's Corner? Why? Why have you come to Speaker's Corner? Why?
Hey. Gentlemen.
This is what is happening because of Islam. Look, I was having a debate with Sam earlier.
Yes.
We disagreed. I still think Roman Catholicism is a scam.
Okay, wait. So why are you wearing a mask? Why are you wearing a mask? To protect your nose? But why are you wearing a mask? You probably have tonsil stones.
Hay fever.
Coward. Gun back, man. Okay, how about you guys go lose some weight and come back later, okay?
Mohammed's a coward.
Face off. How about that?
I lose some weight.
Yeah, I do. Let's take a walk. Yeah, we'll take a walk.
Wait, how?
All right.
Why should he take any walk? Stand right here.
Yeah,
How about we stand right here?
Yeah, both.
So you have
I
Muslims.
didn't like the way they were moving. I didn't quite like it. So all right, carry on. No worries.
So the
I
problem
think those guys
you see,
came from
my
Birmingham.
friends, at Speaker's Corner, make your way to Speaker's Corner to do what?
I think they're from Birmingham.
From Birmingham all the way to Speaker's Corner to do what? My dear friends,
To do that,
why
wow.
exactly have they come to speak? So you only so I respect you. At the least, you don't want to shake your hand. Why not? So help us understand. You see the problem we have. So do you see the problem we have?
Share the link.
Which is watched by many cameras, watched by many people at the same time. Can you imagine what would happen to me if I walk through his street in Birmingham? Can you imagine? Can you imagine, my dear friends?
What will happen?
Well, I don't even want to give them ideas. They may already have 99 ideas. I don't want to give them one more. So
I wouldn't let them do nothing.
you might. I am inclined to think that you might, you might be sensible. But your friends haven't proven to be sensible. Let's deal with this, my dear friend. Islam is a religion of hate. No, please. No. If you want to be, you are a Muslim, sir. Islam is not a religion of peace. Are we both on the same page? Islam is a death cult. Islam is a murderous death cult. And that we saw even in those faces which were hiding. Can you imagine? Because we have plenty of friends here. Now, to you, sir. Why do you think Islam is...
I told you, I'm listening, I'm a layman.
Sure. You're a layman, but you're a Muslim layman. Do you think Islam is a religion of peace? Yeah. Please help me understand. Why do you think so?
How can you try to force conversation with me?
Say again.
How can you try to force conversation with me?
Look, I'm not, this is not jihad.
No, this is what you're doing.
My dear friend. You see, so the gentleman calls me out. Why does he call me out?
Why?
He calls me out because I have been rude. Because I forced conversations. But the same gentleman would not call his friends out while they have hidden their faces. Those are your friends. I know, but you were calling me out. Why didn't you call your friends out?
You forced the conversation when I told you 2-3 times I don't want to have a
Sure, but why did you not call out your friends?
That's like I told you, I speak for myself.
Did your friends and you, all three, did you not come together there? When I was stood there, did you not come there?
And what was I doing?
Okay.
What was I doing?
Sure. So you are a...
I'm just listening.
Sure. So you are...
You carry on with the conversation.
Islam is a death cult.
That's your opinion.
No, that's not my opinion. That's Quran's opinion. Islam is a death cult is not my opinion, my dear friend. It's Quran's opinion.
You can talk to the camera.
No, it's...
You can talk when you talk. Sure. I'm here to listen.
That's fine. You have come to listen. So, all right. My dear friends, if there is a Muslim who is able to, look, if there is a Muslim who is able to step forward and give us a solution for jihad, it would be... We are Rasulullah or Rasagullah, whatever. If you are able to step forward, please, and help us find a solution for jihad, that would be really good. Any Muslim, you sir, you are here. Do you have any solution to jihad? You see, there are, you're a Muslim, sir.
Yes.
So there are attacks.
Why?
Why? That's exactly my question. Why? Why? Why are there jihadist attacks? Please help me understand.
Why?
That's my question.
Okay.
Don't steal my question, please.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Why do you engage in jihad?
Why? You don't have jihad to prove it.
Don't have jihad?
Yeah, no.
So, across the Quran, have you read Surah Al Imran?
Yeah, I know Surah Al Imran, but to prove it.
Yeah.
Who make this?
No, one second. Are you saying now that jihad is...
No.
Are you
I know
now...
what you say.
One second. You are a Muslim, my dear friend.
Sorry?
Are you Muslim?
No.
No, Muslim.
I'm just listening. Yeah.
Sure. Now, where are they? So this is not... Is there any Muslim
this man. What is this?
David slay Goliath? I'm asking you, did David slay Goliath? And when David slew Goliath, what did men, children, and even cattle